Okay, let's go. Let's watch.
We'll find out. We've got Gideon and Trex on the cast.
Thanks so much. Already here at match point for the Yangon Galacticos, and we've got quite a wild opportunity to see Selena and Jawhead within the same composition. We've seen many victims in ranked games getting absolutely demolished with how quick they're able to kind of speed up. Wow, they're getting an ultra leash here.
Every day is common now.
Like Zeno didn't need more help.
We need this purple buff. That is it. There will be no invades. We will secure it, and we will do something after. But for sure, it's happening.
It's crazy. It's a wild style of composition because for GK, if things start to go downhill, if they don't develop a lead, if the Yangon Galacticos are the ones who actually maintain at least a 2K lead, I think this game is sort of done for unless they can put some damage onto Sanji. But in the meantime, I like the fact that GK, they don't want to slow down. They're just going to play for that information and really work with the mid trio to get things moving across the map.
Yeah, and they take some really interesting pathing. I almost kind of worry about this Zeno. With such a lead that they had, getting that purple buff immediately, they could have used that to have him just start in his own jungle, but they go for the litho, they go into the mid, hope that there's a possible mess up, and now that quick pace that they wanted to set kind of just evens out in a sense.
Yeah, and they don't mind that, right? They don't mind that. They're looking for lane punishes. I don't see them trying to contest for the very first turtle of this game, but I think, honestly, they need to put as much punishment onto Sanji as possible, right? Because as much as Yaga wants to one-shot him, it's hard to trade against somebody, especially at level 2, who can recoil backwards and also lock you down and get free damage on the trade. So Yaga, unless there is a commitment to an all-in to force Sanji to flicker away, most of the time you just have to kind of sit in that bush, just wait for your time, get a quick push, and then move away.
All right, Ying getting a little starved away. He's got to try to make his way in to get that card. Is able to get it, so everything back to normal on the bot side.
Oh my god, they got a permanent freeze on top side. Like, what is it? He can't walk up. Like, Yaga walks up, he's gonna get blasted every single time.
But, I mean, he can close the distance pretty quickly. We are at least seeing him down to the turtle. Blink. Taking a little bit of damage by everybody. A beautiful I'm offended, pulling them all in. Tempest of Blades connects on to none. Bahan still finds the kill on to Shen. Now Aizen forced to run away. YG bring it all in on the first turtle.
And that's exactly what you want to see, right? I would have imagined that they didn't want to do it, but Ying makes all the difference here. Flickering forward and catching all 4 of the members from the side of GK. Very nice of him to do so, because with this lead, they're going to push it even further. And that's the thing about Yangon Galacticos' composition, right? It is a little risky here and there, but it doesn't mean that GK missing out that first turtle is the end of the world. The real question is whether or not, oh, they get the blast down. And luckily for Aizen, he's able to tank the damage. No. Ooh.
That's the passive, right?
Yeah.
After effect.
Ooh, that is nasty. Nasty, nasty stuff. And I think this is going to be what the game is going to look like for a while.
Hopefully, I mean, it's already 5-0. I don't know how much longer it could go if it continues to look like that. It could be another very quick game if things follow this pacing. Shen on the bottom side just trying to defend the tower at this point as YG continues to advance forward. Look at Blink just constantly keeping tabs in their jungle, constantly pushing in. The thing is with a lineup like a Jawhead and a Selena, that's what they should be doing, right? They should be the ones pushing in. Big amount of damage on a Ying there, but it's not going to be enough to take him down. Shen going to fully commit. Completely misses. Ying.
Okay.
He's okay.
What a surprise! What a surprise! Why are people trying to dive people like Ruby? There is just no point, especially if you don't land that first arrow, if you don't get the guaranteed CC. And now the punish.
A nice kick from Blink on a Zeno. Han moves in, Tempest of Blades, just try to close the distance. Ooh, Han will get stunned up. Unable to get the kill on a Zeno, but wait. He dashes back and forward, back to safety. GK still unable to get a single kill on the board.
Unreal. He's still able to have the time, and honestly, just really good movement so far. Yaga, he can get this kill onto Blink, but is he willing to die for this? Is he willing to flicker? And he is!
Worth it. Value, I would say, at this point. Just get what you can.
Is Sanji gonna walk up? No. They're not gonna contest this. Yeah, they're already using the unstoppable force on towards Han side, making sure that he's kind of deep.
A nice throwback from Shen there. I'm offended. Connects on Eisen though.
bro.
Shen unable to get
That's
away as
good.
Han close the distance on more members. Eisen falls.
No, that's
Quinoc
like-
may just be next.
Oh.
Sanji able to get off the headshot. 3 members
Oh,
down the side of
guys, I got
PK.
the
Just what I was about
goal.
to say. Okay,
Oh,
they're getting some pace
I
back.
see.
They get a turtle. They get a kill. This happens.
Every single time, and the worst part is that this has occurred. This is not like a new thing for the Yangon Galacticos. They did this in game number 1 as well, and they were also able to get the mid-tier 1, which is the most important structure on this map for their first 8 minutes of the game. Now, with the missing mid-tier 1, they get to walk into the jungle for free. Like it's, hey, tourism pass for everybody. Everybody's got a Malaysian passport.
I mean, and the fact that that's the first one that gets taken before any side lanes go down is even more of a statement here by YG. And with the composition that they have, with all of these strong frontliners like the Ruby, with Blink being able to dash through, having that just makes their composition work even more. Now they take out the tier 3 on the top side, and even more movement around where this next and last turtle's gonna come up.
Han's gonna take it in front of his face. Eisen just doesn't have enough damage for this. He's 3 levels down, and not to mention that at least for this Ling, Han is having the time of his life, uncontested. And for the majority of the abilities coming on for the side of Geeke, the burst damage is very target locked, so he just has to hold up his Bladed Tempest and dodge it.
Yaga can at least try to get a tower for himself, but it doesn't mean much at this point. They have, I mean, at this point, you got to regroup. It's a 3,000 gold lead. There is still plays that could be made, but they definitely need to stick together a bit more. We said it last game. Once they started falling behind, you have a composition that you want to sit around. Everyone needs to kind of work together, get those combos off. They don't have any big range with the marksman. They sacrifice that for the fighter off lanes. Turtle is up now. What can they do about it?
Initially, I thought maybe playing for the strong side in this Paquito, because he can hard shove this way, but now it's kind of 50-50, and here we go. Turtle contestation.
Shen, look for the engage, gets the ejector. Unable to get the throw onto any though. Turtle does go down, and so does Eisen. Ying now gonna move on. A beautiful flicker in from Yaga. Yaga able to get some nice shots off, but won't be able to get away from here. YG just collecting heads one by one.
There was a potential outplay angle for Yaga, but he did not want to lose out on his flicker for the next upcoming fight. And I think at this point, having the Selena is great because now you can watch Yangon Galacticos in first-person view steal away your camps and still not be able to do anything about it.
This is rough.
This is really, really rough. And I want to be positive for them, but at the same time, with the composition that they have, like, they don't have a lot of comeback mechanics unless those arrows hit. And even when those arrows hit, there's a pretty good chance, unless it hits Kaiser, unless it hits Sanji, everybody else has a response. Blink can block arrows. Ying, as we've seen 3 times already, has flickered I'm offended to catch multiple members. Like, if GK cannot punish that, they should not fight them during the neutral objective.
And the Ruby just destroys everything that Geeke wants to bring here. Every little bit of dive. And if they do get past the Ruby, there's still the quick stun from, nice kick. Does land down on Eisen. Still the quick stun from Kais. Still the quick second skill, small stun from Sanji. It's so hard to break through. And even if you're going for those targets, you have Han jumping onto you. So it's a tough match. Even if GK was able to kind of even things out here, it's just a hard match to fight.
They're living on a prayer. That's the truth of it. And even Yaga, right? He's in this 2v1 scenario, finally gets to go, uses his flicker. You're up against Ling. He's going to chase you down. Like, there's so many weird decisions happening in this game that has, honestly, I think game 1 has absolutely crushed that confidence. And after that first turtle, it's just PTSD. It's all happening all over again. Game 1 replaying in their minds.
YG gonna slowly continue to pick apart this map. Lord will be up in a few seconds. They've taken the tier 2 on the bottom side. They haven't lost this. Oh no, they lost their top tier 3, so a little something for GK. The arrows, I don't think I've seen a single arrow hit.
Some of them have hit. It's just, you know, it hit somebody like Blink. It's hit Ying a couple of times. Both of them just laugh at it again.
No want you to come in.
Exactly, that's the problem. They're like signaling them, please. This is the airstrip. Land the plane here.
I'm offended. Onto Eisen. Han gets the engage. Yaga is there. Gets some nice damage, but Eisen still goes down. Unable to connect, and Yaga kicked back, taken out. Sanji will get that kill. They're just sharing him at this point. GK unable to do anything in the face of this team right now.
I think I figured it out. I think that GK haven't realized it's not the fact that they have this huge economic lead on the side of Yangon Galacticos. It's the fact that they're walking up as if there's people behind them, and Yangon is like, wait, we already have full vision. We know you're by yourself. And this keeps on happening. GK is trying to fake them out with their positioning, trying to fake them out as if like, yes, I'm a legitimate threat. The truth is, it's already been exposed. The satellite sees everything.
So what do GK do? I mean, I guess we pointed out they just continue to not do it. A little bit of a 1v1, the anime fight. Han wins once again. Shen, I mean, even Shen unable to really engage. Goes for Blink this time. Doesn't get the toss. A lot of damage on a Blink. Sanji's just free hitting from the backside, and Flicker. More damage lands on Aizen. Sanji getting aggressive, dashing in. Shen just trying to zone them away, just trying to defend the base. A Lord is coming soon, though, and YG's not done yet.
At this point, it's not just living on a prayer, it's putting lipstick on a pear, and now they're looking for a little bit more. It's hot, finally to get the shutdown!
Finally, Yaga connects. No one was there to help him out. Ying wasn't there to slow him down, and GK Esports getting another kill on the board. Shen with the toss. But no one walks in.
Okay.
Nobody able to help out at all. Blink getting low. Sanji able to find Shen. Blink does finally drop. Yaga is finally picking up some kills on the board. All three, the only three of GK's kills are in the hands of Yaga.
And now there is some legitimate hope. They were able to get the right spells. Yangon Galacticos, unfortunately, a little too overeager. But look at this, right? He gets on top of Han, kills him, no problem. But here's the moment where Yaga wants to come in, and guess who saves the day? It's Blink, who blocks the shot to save Sanji's life here. Yaga was thinking about getting the empowered shot and flickering right on top of the correct targets, similarly to what his Jawhead did.
Oh my lord, Han is moving and grooving right now.
They're maintaining that distance, but since you brought up the question, I will answer. They're going to need somebody to bait the spells. The only problem is I don't think that the Yangon Galacticos, when the Unstoppable Force comes out of Shen, they're just going to wait until it's done, right?
Oh, Aizen down. Han able to get the kill. Blink looking for the next target. Ooh,
Gone.
Flicker. Calling the dash. Preemptively, Yaga to the backside. He flickers through. He wants Sanji. He's able to get Quinop. Sanji goes down as well, and Yaga's picking him up. Lakai's finally gets the shutdown. It's a full team wipe for YG.
Pretty good idea, but they could not collapse at the exact same time. There's just too many delays with the help of Ying, covering so much space. He's 3-0 and 16. This Ruby pick has absolutely demolished their top as they start knocking on the front door. GK, what are you gonna do about this? You need 6 seconds.
I don't think there's much GK can do. With the minions crashing through, YG does decide to back off. They're not going to force it. But the jungle's gone. There's no plus for the side of GK. Lord is up. Does GK go for this? Honestly, they've been going for non-stop, so I wouldn't put it past them to try to take this fight.
I honestly think they should do it again, right? Force this fight underneath by the Lord.
They might be becoming tournament
who have to walk on over, and if Yangon don't do this fast, that top wave is going to build up to force the decision for them.
Dashes through, big kick on Quinop. Quinop goes down. Tempest of Blades falls onto Aizen. It's on the top side. Yaga gets pulled back in with the I'm offended. Kai's gets the kill. The rest of GK running for the hills.
Yep. And now they're going for the endgame. They don't even need the Lord at this point. They know what they need to do. And Sanji is just too strong. He can single-handedly do the siege.
It's 4v5 right now, or 3v5 right now. Aizen goes down. YG gonna move on to Shen here. Last minion drops.
They are going for a lot.
They're unable to connect to the base.
I don't know how long they can do this for, because it's coming to a point where we're getting to the 42K mark. Once we get to the 42K mark, we're expecting that Xeno alongside, well, in this case, Yaga, would have hit their core items. I know for a fact that Yaga has his item, Xeno at the same time, but the rest of them, they just don't have enough stats, especially for Aizen. Literally 2 items.
And I mean, in the end, right, Aizen, I think the big problem for GK, where's the major damage? You have some physical damage. Quinop was never able to come online, and even then, towards late game, the Selena's always going to start to fall off a bit, you know? And it wasn't able to get that value you would get out of it in the early to mid. And at this point, without a marksman, without any kind of range, And with just physical damage as your major damage dealers, even once the core items come in, where does GK go with that?
The physicality of their damage isn't the problem. It's the fact that this Ruby has literally blocked them at every single angle. Like, Yaga wants to close the distance, but he can't because he's melee. So at this stage, it really is just whether or not Ying can get moved out of position.
Ying pulls Zeno back in. Zeno goes down. Aizen about to get hit by the Tempest of Blades as Han dashes under the tower, get the kill. Lord connects onto the base, a big kick onto Yaga. And that should be it. YG with one last empowered wave will move on to the base. They want to make things fast. They want to make things quick. YG take game number 2 and win the series.
Oh, the outclass here. The Young Galacticos take the game 2-0. They had an incredible answer to the draft so far. And honestly, I think that was the problem. Those first 3 picks was just
it, but they weren't able to polish it into the final picture. They just had the initial ideas of, all right, we want to go fast, but how do you want to do that? What steps are you going to take properly? Gideon was making a big point about taking the proper steps.
Okay, it's a swipe almost. Team Liquid lost. RAR. Let's see. First, let's see with Malaysia teams.
Player, but doesn't it kind of say that their draft might have a lot of stationary heroes that could get picked up by the Zushin? Because I kind of feel like in a very high mobility meta, maybe the Zushin isn't a prio ban, but this might be showing that they're going to have at least 2 steady front lines that just doesn't move a lot.
Yeah, and what are the chances that we see even Stormy pick up the likes of Eudora, right?
Pretty high. I mean, like, he likes to use Odette, Nana, Selena, like, honestly, he even played a Hellcrit mid once, and he dominated that game, so I'm pretty sure Stormy can use anything.
See now the 3rd ban for SRG, followed up yet again, and
but Eudora is all this eager.
Deaths of Ling, I mean, what mentioned yesterday.
It's just a question of
as well as the second ability, able to push someone away.
It's comfy all around the map, but for me, my eyes are on the Ferrara being let through. This is a pick that has been banned out consistently.
And here's the thing, the question is whether or not they're gonna have Skyfiercer, because the first invade is all looking way too good as they're looking for first blood.
A lot of damage on to PP there. Sakai's now running away, getting taken out by Coley. A nice trade. A beautiful trade at that, taking out the jungler of SRG.
And that's perfect. That's exactly what they want. The trades need to be effective, and with jungler already taken out of the question in trade for a support, I mean, Pro, they're punching above their weight. It gives them great trades so far, and I think Trex, at this point, we gotta talk about strong side, weak side, because they initially play for early game strong side onto Cram to deal with Felix, and it's only gonna be until level 4. After that, I think they're gonna head down to the bottom side.
I mean, I think at that point, SRG with that quick invade, looking for play, kind of testing the waters, right? How good is Pro? Can we bully them? I think they learned quickly that Coily is going to respond, and because of the movement on this Ling, it's a bit harder to try to make those plays happen. And yes, Sekai's has the iframes, he has the ability to escape, but we're already seeing the consequences that can be made if you overextend.
I feel like he's already lost that momentum, right? As soon as you hit level 2 on Hirara, that's probably your biggest power spike overall without the items. And now, we're seeing that a lot of that mid-motion, right? Clear up that mid as soon as possible and immediately start moving towards the other sides of the map.
Alright, so Pro Esports looking for an angle in. Sakai's already started working on this turtle. Saw making away as well, does have level 4, can put out some decent damage, watch for the stun, but SRG's not going to try to rush this either as Coily goes for the orange buff, a little bit of damage onto Yumes. Sakai's making his way in. Sorry, I'm Felix, gonna back off. No big angle from Pro just yet. Coily has to finish this orange buff as quick as possible. He's gonna look for the angle in. No pinch poise just yet, gets a nice little bit of damage onto Sakai's. Tempest Blaze does, comes down, gets the knockup, plus the turtle, and a lot of damage onto Sakai's. He's taken out. Pro Esports look for the next target of Stormy, runs away in shambles. Sorry, I'm Felix with a kill under his belt. Make it a purple buff as well.
The conversion is going to be good. Pro played that perfectly, knowing the Wrath of the Dryads was in the hands of Stormy. Already gave them an idea. Hey, they're looking at team fight, but they're not clearing this Lord fast enough. When we this turtle fast enough, let's look at the replay one more time, because Cram's job is very different. Right now, he can't zone out multiple people just yet. And the worst part about it, losing that 50-50 from the side of Sakai's has already netted this team to be playing on the back foot for at least the next 4 minutes.
Yeah, I'm almost surprised the guys went into that knowing the Tempest Blades was going to come, but a little bit of damage down here on the boss side. Kuzin, going to try to get away, gets hit by the Terrify, and a beautiful SOD from Innocent to get to the backside, taking out Kuzin. Pro Esports forced to back off. A nice little bit of something, and back to Innocent. Hasn't been involved in any of these fights. Having a decent experience could be the saving grace unless he's taken out by Coily here. A couple more shots. Tempest of Blades does come down and a kill into Coily's pocket. Able to make sure he secures that Berserker's Fury.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate. Yum's already used all of his charges for the fist crack. Fist break, unfortunately, did not connect at the right time. Like Lethal mentioned earlier, SRG is playing a really difficult composition. It's a composition where you truly must be interconnected. Similar to Avatar, just, you know, gotta make sure the air is connected, and more importantly, if they can find something back.
Nice damage. Stormy able to output, but just not enough. Pepe takes him out. Saw gets the kill. Pro Esports have an answer for everything right now.
They kind of have the answer for everything. I think the worst part about it is the update. The patch has made this Belleric a little better. Innocent now taking at least one gold grab here to make sure that he stays ahead. This 1.3k lead that we see from Pro, I don't think it's leaving anytime soon. Let's quickly have a look at the level difference here. Sakai's currently at level 7. Thank you for moving away, Lord Spawn, to level 8. So he's a level down on this.
All right, Turtle. Tempest of Blades comes down. Coily able to take the turtle with ease, and Sakai's once again in a horrible spot. Dashes into death.
No, man. It is innocent
just trying to
versus
keep vision, just trying to help defend this mid lane. But
It's
Pro
innocent
Esports
versus
doesn't care about it at all.
This is starting to snowball out of control. Sakai's made his best attempt
His
to
team
try
is
to
not
at least
able to
contest, but so
progress
far,
because
Coily,
of
he's been hitting these retributions perfectly
their
on
teamwork
top of
not
the advantage that he has. At this stage, as you can see, the PB is already invading the enemy side just to get early information to allow Coily to make the smartest choices. Hey, there's a lot of people down by this orange buff. Let's quickly push out mid. He's looking for efficiency.
I mean, right now, Pro Esports all around the map. A lot of damage onto Yums here. Gonna dive onto the tower. Yums has no escape. Tries to flicker. It's not enough today. They're gonna be able to take this tower. SOD does connect. Innocent does dash in. Wasn't a mistake. He just wants to clear it. But Kuzin's not gonna want to let him get away from the top side, though. Soft balls. Sakai's on to Pepe. Pepe not gonna be able to get away. A nice double kill into the hands of SRG. Able to try to find something in the chaos.
That was dangerous. So dangerous. The SOD on top of utilizing your battle spells to get into this fight. It connects. He takes it. But he already knew that the backup was coming into that back line. Stormy even opting to flicker early with the stolen Wrath of Dryads to guarantee this kill onto Sa. The trading isn't just instantaneous. It's 15 to 20 seconds ahead in the future.
So SRG are still finding some moments, right? They're able to get some little trades. They're behind 2.5k gold, but it's definitely not the end of the world from them. We know that just with the game IQ, they can make something, shake something. Is it too late? I don't think a 2.5k gold lead is too late at all. We'll see at this first, not third turtle, but I think first Lord is going to be the big moment where we know who's possibly got this in the bag.
Before anything happens, Zipper, pull up the item list. Thank you very much, because I'm interested in where Coily actually is at in this item. So he's 4-0-2 as of right now, and that's a phenomenal lead for any Ling player. And they're immediately on this turtle as SRG are trying to take that mid position.
I think that's the right play this time. Give up the turtle. Sakai's 2-0 on the first time, just keeps getting caught by the Tempest of Blades. Look for plays elsewhere. Innocent on the bottom side getting a little bit of push. Maybe they translate it to a tower, but Coily's already there to help defend.
Thanks, Zipper. That's already 2 items up for Coily. He's in a phenomenal position. Even if he gets put down to 1 HP, as long as he has Finch Voice, he can get out of there, go to 1 camp, get back up to full, and he's ready to fight once more. And that's so different in comparison to Hirara, which is so burst-oriented.
Nice damage on Sorry on Felix. Even Pro, even with the advantage they have, they're still taking things slow. They're still playing this smart. A slow push on the bottom lane, gonna connect onto that tower. Top side pushing as well. Pro Esports, you would think they might have came in very chaotic, but honestly, even with the aggression they have in the micro, they're playing a decent macro on the map.
Trying to make sure that they're efficient. They've developed their 1.6k lead, now over to a 3k lead. And you can see that Cram now, he's getting a lot more confident after that chastised Pauldron. He knows he can't get 100-0 just yet. Sa doesn't have his full 2 items, and most importantly, not enough burst with the amount of HP that he has, but I'm worried about Coily. He's getting close to that endless battle.
Cram, though, is another problem on the side of SRG. He's still deathless. Yes, in the beginning, he wasn't able to shine that much, but right now, as this game moves forward, he'll become more of a nuisance. Only quick stuns on the side of Pro Esports, except for the Wrath of the Dryad, but even that won't be able to hold Cram down if he can continue to harass.
But just look at the trades that they're doing, right? They know that we can't compete with the mobility of this lane, so second best option, use Moskov to create these cross-map plays. That way, Ling is balanced out, and you never have to keep worrying about, oh no, my long lane, I have to deal with it if I'm going to lose another structure. But looking at the items so far, more importantly, now that Sariam Felix has his second, this Lord is going to be really difficult. If he engages in there while having those Queen's Wings, there's a pretty good chance that SRG might opt to flicker past him and go straight for that back line.
I almost feel like SRG, the way they're going to win these fights is positioning, right? I don't think they want to just go head first. Look at the damage on a Stormy. A little bit of play in the mid side, which is kind of baiting out skills at this point. Sakai's does get his retribution in as Coily starts working on the Lord. Sakai's wants to look for an angle. He just goes straight in once again. Sariam Felix able to push him back. Trying to find the backside now. Tempest Blades does come down. Sakai steals the Lord beautifully, but Yums might just pay the price. But a beautiful response. Pushing Pro back. Yums now on the run. Sakai comes in and makes sure Sariam Felix can't get to him. Nobody goes down except for Stormy, and that's a decent trade for SRG. Look at the boss side now as well.
Innocent, he's playing the exact same role that Coily is trying to do to threaten them in those side lanes, but luckily Sakai is able to win out that 50-50
I told you, right?
being
It is innocent
2
versus
levels
all.
down. That's the difference here. Both sides are going to be highly contesting these neutral objectives because, unfortunately, they don't have the correct tools to siege each other. So, truly, if you want to win that fight, it starts with this Lord, and you got to let the Lord do the work. Breaking the towers afterwards might be a little bit harder than it looks.
Yeah, but Innocent on the top side.
Okay, they are not hitting the Lord from.
Even if they don't follow in with this Lord. Ooh, wait a second. Coily in the backside onto Yums, putting out a lot of damage. Does have Tempest Blades, decides not to use it, isn't going to chase it down. Cram now on to Kuzin as Innocent makes his way to the mid side as well. Sakai's getting brought down low, going to try to run through, takes a tower shot to the face, but will be able to dash through, but the chase is on. Sariam Felix is going to catch him, but the iframes are still there. Does he get the juke?
Ooh, what a chase. Wow, wow, wow. Great game.
Oh my god! What a play! Innocent does it again! Cross-map to Hail Mary!
Make him miss an SOD or something. This entire game, that SOD has been at a 100% efficiency, whether it's stealing away a camp, whether it's closing the distance, but most importantly, it's keeping Pro on their toes. They can't let their foot off the gas just yet, not against a team of this caliber.
And now the game has fallen into SRG's hands. Pro Esports, it was in their grasp. They had control, but control is not a given in a match against the Giants.
It's interesting to see how this is going to play out because now that Coily, he's got that Blade of Despair, he's got some real kill threat to anybody on the side of SRG.
All right, Cram into the backside, continues to harass. Nice step into Blades, does not get the knockup. Coily just trying to get away at this point, but there's no escape.
Very good.
Cram
Nice
gets
one,
the kill,
second.
the recalls are out. SRG's in full form.
I figured it out. It's all about the scramble. It's all about the scramble. Somebody, you can be coordinated on the engage, but I have never seen a team actually go and disengage at the exact same time. And that's a big problem from both of these sides. Whoever breaks away first usually gets punished, whether it's soft. Wait, hold on.
Cram takes a lot of damage, still has the consecration, and has a flicker. Opted not to go Purify right here. Cram is comfortable, deathless. Like I said earlier, this Uranus is going to be more and more of a problem as this game goes on.
Yeah, I think
don't understand that
recognize
sort of
that he doesn't have enough
actually.
consistent DPS to stay on top of Cram. And worse yet, it just feels like a waste of resources as Cram is zoning out 4 members to get the information they need.
All right, Coily wants to try to make his way down. Lord still getting contested as Saw keeps vision, but Cram just pushes them away. The one-man army Coily cannot find a good angle. He can't come riverside. He's got to go around the backside, but Cram's already got vision onto the whole team. And Sakai's isn't going to rush it. He bounces back and forth. Sorry, I'm Felix in this tri-bush. May try to make a play, but the problem is mid lane's getting pushed in. Pro Esports has to back off.
Yep, they're not going to do this, and now SRG trying to be even more efficient. They're not going to show topside until it's too late, and now Pro, unfortunately, just has to respond to this as SRG are playing Pro's game, but just a little bit better, because they don't need... Oh!
A little bit of play, a lot of damage. Cram jumps onto 3 Tempest of Blades, does come down, but it's more of an escape use. The taunt locks in, the Wrath of Dryad and Saw falls as Innocent is catching targets left and right. Sorry, I'm Felix, just has to try to get away under the tower, but another Wrath of Dryad and a double kill for Innocent. Oh my Kuzin just wants to live, goes back to base, and SRG didn't even need the Lord. They're finding members.
Oh my goodness, Innocent. An incredible baseline. He is showing that all gold laners need to have perfect movement. Look at that! Nothing can touch this guy so far. Every ability, pixel perfect footsies all the way through. It's been tough because Pro has been throwing so much at him.
Coily.
Can he steal it?
Coily. Tempest of Blades comes down. He goes, but Sakai still secures it. Coily gets the kill on a Stormy, though. He's trying to make the big play, trying to get away. It's not enough.
I don't know. Between so many regions across the world, for some reason, Malaysia versus Cambodia always gets the blood pumping.
Always a banger.
Always a banger. Oh my goodness. It is a tough game here, but it's not completely over. Pro understand, hey, we still have scaling on our side. Zipper, if you pull up the items, I'm pretty sure that Kuzin is pretty much getting to his third, if not finished it already at this stage. Yep, 4th item technically already complete here. He's got real damage. The problem is that he can't close the distance. If not, Stormy or even Yumes could knock him out of place.
All right. Pro Esports, can they defend it? They still have inhibitors. This is only first Lord, second Lord, actually. They got a crash has come through. Sakai's wants to jump in. Yumes with conceal play. Doesn't find the big payoff. SRG looking for an angle on the backside. A lot of damage from Sakai's. Coily just wants to try to clear the waves. Innocent looking to target onto this base, but Lord is already down to 20%. Cinco to Pepe trying to run away right now. 9 Tempest ablaze. Sakai's taking out Coily. Gets the pick off.
And they're looking for Morris. Count shift even more. They're still holding the wave as 3 of down, and they want to push this and make sure they buy another 4 minutes into this game.
Pro Esports with a beautiful defense. Cram falls the first time he's died yet. Can they do more? Kuzin gets a nice shot onto Yumes. Stormy doesn't want to give it up just yet. The minions are still on the base. Pro Esports trying to defend 2 more waves coming in.
They can hold on.
They go to Pepe.
Let's try
Doesn't have the ult. Coily. They're able to push him away. Pro Esports survives another wave.
You can tell. Both sides, they just want that moment to breathe, and SRG finally have to let go of the pressure after losing Sakai's alongside with Cram. They recognize Pro. They're gonna be able to respond faster. Can he get this? No. At least he has a
Link,
purple.
bro.
Does he trade?
Oh, that's a lot of damage.
What's shooting?
Yumes goes down, Immortality does pop.
Okay, Yumes will go down.
Sorry, I'm Felix. Look at the final shot. Kuzin able to get it. That's a 42-second death timer on the side of SRG. Lord comes up in 45.
All right, I gotta stand up for this one. With this game, it's a high intensity for too long, 16 minutes already, and there hasn't been a moment where their heart
I
skips
still
a beat
feel like
every single
Pro
time.
Esports have the upper hand.
Calculated. I mean, we're the amateurs here compared to those professionals up there, but now we're getting into the later stages of the game. Maximum items. Is this a punish?
Ooh, shifting skies. Cram. Takes a lot of damage.
No, don't cover that.
Does come down, but doesn't connect onto anyone. Pepe gotta run away right now. Pro Esports gotta give up space as SRG takes control of the Lord Pit.
Yeah, and with missing inhibitors on all fronts, Pro recognize that, man, we're gonna have to pray that Coily can be the one that buys us the extra 3 minutes we need. If he steals this Lord, this is going to start dragging out. But Pro don't have the advantage in the lanes. Every single side is getting shoved in.
All right, but Pro Esports know this may not be a Lord they can give up. And when you're in a position like this where you have no inhibitors, you kind of have to force the fight. You can't play the long game. You can't play the dance. And this could be the fight they're trying to force. Look at the damage. Coily in the backside.
Innocent is giving pretty good damage. Very good. Nice fight, man. Great game.
Pepe locked on to as Kuzin and Coily trying to make it back to base. To terrify. The immortality isn't enough.
And there you have it,
Great
a forced mistake
They
coming
can
out of
finish
Pro
the
and
match if they
SRG.
want.
This is why Macro plays a huge part in this game with such a tough composition to play as well. They managed to hold down and
Innocent
turn
boys,
these conversions
innocent.
only limited to the jungle and not
Hume
structural
also did a great
damage.
job.
And SRG with a
SRG will
well-fought
take the
battle
first game.
will take game number 1.
It's not over
Great,
just
great.
yet.
Then how did they
This
lose?
is an
Oh.
amazing
How
For
did they
team
lose?
fight, personally for me, this is very scary coming in from.
But you were able
Again,
to
Check
answer
is
that, and they're
going
also
on
still
Irara.
letting
Kohli is
go of the
going on
possibility of this
Link.
Freya still being flexed eventually. Like if they
Again,
still want to go for a
5
marksman
times
in
he
the
will get
gold, Innocent can still get a
Hirim,
hold of
Felix,
Moscow, but at the same
for
time,
the Gallic,
you
very-
also wouldn't really want to pick up through any they have right now.
Honestly,
Are
just
you
looking at
pro
banning out
get
the
a
Esmeralda
haircut
as
too?
well. Number one, the front try room for the Tim, and we can improve more. Kind of go toe to toe, maybe pressure him out, make sure he doesn't have such a free game.
Sorry, Felix here to help out, and SRG backs off.
They could try to deny the purple buff, but luckily, sorry, Felix is just man-to-man defense against Cram. Not going to let him walk away from this lane scot-free. And on the opposite side for SRG, this is a big lead. 1.5k is looking really, really good right now. However, a lot of their damage is coming from both Sakai's and as well as Stormy. Yums is supplementary damage, but eventually it's going to fall off at the later stages of the game.
All right, so with that, I feel like we're taking a slightly slower pace this game. Things seem a little more even, but SRG still holding a nice lead.
And I like the movements from this, right? Hey, let's try and invade. Oh no, they're already there? Okay, let's quickly clear up mid and set up a potential dive on bot side. But keep in mind, sorry, Felix, 7 more seconds until that flicker comes back up in Cram. I mean, he's thinking about it, but somebody needs to make the kick happen.
He does have the ult. This is a scary hero to go under a tower with. A lot of ability to hold you down for a second or more too. Pro Esports has no idea they're all there. They finally do show themselves. A lot of damage on Asari and Felix, able to use the flicker back
good flicker
out
by
of the way
Rudy.
into safety. And
Good
SRG
flicker.
knows they weren't able to get it. They're gonna back off.
Beautifully played, and now they unlock Cram from this lane, and they need to quickly run back up towards Turtle side. Unfortunately for Pro, they can't rush it down just yet, so SRG will contest.
Looms gets away the dragon right as he ties a lot of damage on Bellery. Pepe will fall. Innocent able to get the kill, but the response quickly from Kuzin, able to get one onto Humes. Roamer for Roamer. Kuzin in the midst of Smon's force. Cram forced to back off, doesn't have an ult anymore, and now Pro Esports has the pit.
Yep, they played for the fight, and now they don't have enough to contest for this turtle. They
Tommy.
trade supports, and that's the thing. They're trying to make sure they keep Coily in one place for as long as possible, while SRG quickly have to make a cross-map play on the opposite side. Let's look at this replay one more time, because initially, I was thinking maybe they don't have enough damage, but then Innocent comes in with a blazing duet to give that last bit of a kick that they need to get across that finish line. Cram, the entire time, zoning out Sa. It's a great idea, because Sa is going to be the main anchor for the side of Pro Esports to wombo combo with each other.
All right, so it's a turtle for a turtle. Pro starting to show off a little bit. Coily getting some nice damage on a Cram there. Of course, use the Valkyrie's Ascent just to get away.
Freya, you can
Pro
kill him.
Esports are matching the
Why did
pace
you go
very
away?
well across the map, and even when SRG looks for plays, they haven't been able to secure the big gank yet.
Yeah,
Yes, they're able to like attack the offlane, but nobody's gone down to those advances just yet.
See, that's the thing. I think that Pro actually decided to adapt it. They realized that a lot of the punishment was targeted towards Coily's side, a lot of invasions as well. And even down here by bot side, right? They're trying to keep him in visible areas across the map. They're not letting him
Bro,
take control on the
Yama's
opposite
smooth as
ends.
butter.
And I think they've been doing this since game number 1 for the side of
They
SRG.
is
Pro
riding
on the
on
other
the
side,
walls.
hey, if they're focusing on our Ling for this long, you know what? We're going to play for our Harith, right? Look at the reinforcements controlling this top side. Wait, a kick!
A lot of damage. Saw goes down, but a lot of ults used as well from SRG. They're going to be able to take that tower in the bot side as well. It finally falls. They've used so much just to try to secure it, and all Pro Esports are going to get out of this is the top tower.
This is quite the scrum, a game of rugby. Sakai's, no, Coily not going to go for it just yet. Scared that maybe without the Blade of Tempest, he's going to get hit by the stun. That's a pretty good call here for the side of Pro. It's 6-3, but this 1.7k lead has not been developed further than this.
All right, so Pro Esports kind of backed against the wall a little bit here. I do feel like SRG has been ahead of them, but still they're calm, right? And Coily continues to look for targets, wants Cram so bad.
Damage
Comes
is
down,
insane.
but a nice jump away from Cram. And now
Ho,
sorry,
ho,
Felix
ho,
gonna
ho,
hold it.
nice
Locked up with a
one,
big
yo.
kick on
Nice one.
Coily. right into the feathered airstrike. Yume's caught in between three, will fall as well. But
Yume
still,
do
it's a
good in
juggle for
Chow
Roger.
actually.
SRG
Chow,
gets a
Ruby
huge
and
advantage.
It's great. It's great. This turtle should fall into their
Uranus.
hands as Pro is forced to move back
I
into the
think-
lanes to make sure something happens. And listen, he's maxed stacked right now on that Heart of Thievery. He's doing some real damage.
The damage from Stormy as well on Asari and Felix. Sakai is able to get it. And everyone misses Cram. Looking for the engage
Nice
here.
try.
Doesn't have the Valkyrie ascent. Will back off. Guzin looking for a quick strike. Drops Mon's force. He dives in.
Okay,
But he's
Cram
stunned up, taken
just
out.
kept at a bit.
Guzin might just get away with the blaze into
Innocent
it.
goes
Guzin
in, but
dashes
gets
back.
none.
Innocent not able to get the final shot down. But still a win in SRG's book.
Oh my goodness, you can hear that crowd. What a gut punch. They wanted to see Kuzin go down, but his mechanics kept him
Great,
back
great.
up.
That's
And with the
because
trades that
of
have been
the
happening
Arif
across
and
the map,
also
honestly, it's not the worst for
Ruby.
Pro, but at
So
the same
it's a
time, it's
great
not
trade.
helping the scenario, right? It's just trying to stop the bleeding. It's trying to stop the infection from spreading. And for Pro, Coily, he's that guy. But let's look at this replay just one more time, right? A great play because Coulson has just enough CDR to be able to close that distance, but Sakai's locking him in place to not sneak in that last auto attack.
I was looking, I was so locked onto Kuzin. Sakai's getting taken out by Sariam Felix. Definitely evens the playing field a little bit there in that fight, right? Pro Esports haven't fallen behind. I mean, last game when they were ahead, they were sitting at about a 2.5K goal lead, and SRG was able to turn things around. This time, SRG only leading by 1.4. Pro Esports definitely not out of this. They're going to try to move on to this bottom tower. The slow push from SRG's not going to be able to make it there. Now watch out for Yumes. Nice way the Dragon. Tempest of Blades comes down. Innocent has not engaged his yet. Yumes taken out. This could be bad for SRG. They don't want to force the engage. They're forced to just defend.
Able to get the Tempest of Blades out and buffer it just before the kick actually connects. Really good stuff here because it comes in two parts with that kick. So if you want to drag it out and max it out, you absolutely can. But if you've got the right boots, you can get out of it no problem as soon as you have your abilities available. This could be Flicker, this could be Bladed Tempest. Either or works the exact same way. In this particular case here, I'm noticing that SRG, unfortunately, don't have the same benefits. Pro can walk into you like a bulldozer, overwhelming force. SRG actually have to play the consistent push and pull. They can't all go in at the same time. If not, Bellerin gets value, but Cram can't go in by himself.
Both teams dead even on towers on the off lane. No big macro advantage, but a lot of damage on Yumes. Feather Airstrike comes down, but the damage isn't enough to keep Pro Esports off of his teammate. Pro Esports now, with a man up, aren't going to rush this Lord, but Sakai's with a cheeky positioning in this tri-bush, looking for someone to fall into the trap.
Actually, that was pretty huge. The fact that Pepe lost not only his Flicker, but his Wrath of the Dryads, he can't force a play upon his opponents. He pressed the buttons in the wrong order, and now this contention might be a little bit harder than it seems.
I mean, with a man up, it still feels comfortable. Sakai's going to try to make his way in. Coily's still able to get the Lord. Sakai's able to get away with his life. Trying to take it. He's going to move on to the target, though. Pepe taking a lot of damage. Valkyrie's into the backside. Sakai's goes down because Kuzin responds to Smon's force. And now, Pepe may be able to get away here as Cram is unable to secure a kill. It's two down on the side of SRG and a Lord in the hands of Pro Esports.
And this is what I was talking about. It's so difficult for SRG to throw everything at the wall. Somebody might be out of position. Somebody is a little too far, and they need to be in literally the perfect triangulated area to catch everybody. Because look at the tri-brush here. Instantly, when you see that Cram decides I'm going to change my targets over to Sauce side, the rest of Pro immediately collapse around him. And most importantly, Sariam Felix is buying the perfect amount of time for everybody to either battle spell out of there or create some distance.
Feather Airstrike does come down in defense, but a lot of damage on Yumes. Yumes just hasn't been able to hang out long in these fights. The damage just a little too much from Pro Esports. Are they going to move for this? Oh, Sariam Felix comes in. Purple buff is secured by Sakai still, but a close call on the side of SRG.
They potentially dive this, and Sariam Felix, he might just initiate. He's looking for these T2, but he's definitely not going to get that tower.
Damage. Feather Airstrike comes down. Sariam Felix forced it back off. Tower does not go down like you said. But Pro Esports are relentless. They're going to wait for the next wave and take it down.
Yeah, this Ruby pick, especially with the wave, ridiculous side.
A bit of a 1v1 here. Innocent, not on the Moskov this time, won't be safe. Coily, though, able to pinch pose and escape. A beautiful steal from Pro Esports.
Really good stop there. Innocent, unfortunately, just needed to kite backwards towards where Sakai was going to be. He was really trying to sell that he was by himself, and unfortunately that costed him his life. And again, this is a much better position for Pro.
When the
Game number one, they have the early game. Game number two, now they have the mid to late down on lock.
Coily starting to feel himself a little bit.
Ruby.
I'm offended from Sorry. I'm feeling
What a great one, boy. From Skyrim.
Pro Esports back off immediately. They're playing it cleanly too. They don't understand. We got our target and we leave.
He pulled off the Michael J. White. He was like, he's not giving the signal that he's going to engage. It just looks like his hand is floating there. And the next thing you know, he's caught two.
Uh-oh, Feather Airstrike comes down. Just trying to bend at this point, but every time the Feather Airstrike comes out, Coily's there. And he really wants him to use it.
He wants it bad. And right now, I think that SRG, they have to recognize that they can't fight traditionally against Pro. It really comes down to the forced mistakes, but now that they're taking too much structural damage, I don't know how much control they can actually have. Look at the Adams finally 3 down for Stormy. He's a real threat in the damage department, but he can never use his Feathered Airstrike first. Because as soon as he does, Coily's right on top of him.
What a beautiful unoffended there.
Right.
On two. And Kuzin was so ready for it. The comms right now are on point.
It's so good, but the worst part is that it's unpredictable. You don't know when he's going to flicker I'm offended at this point. He's not giving the traditional signals most EXP laners usually give.
Nice kick.
I don't think it's
on
a good
Pepe.
idea.
Coily in the backside once again forces Stormy away. Pepe's unfazed. Coily just one by one. Anyone can come catch these hands at this point.
They're throwing it up. They have to go deep.
Got the ult.
So far, it's a lot more difficult to play across map without the Moskov.
Until it's being
Seal
broken.
out and yeah, Cram, they have to contest this.
Gonna look for it in.
Yeah,
Kuzin
still
gets the Lord. Blazing to the backside by Innocent. Takes out Saw. Sorry, I'm Felix looking for a target. Tempers Blaze lands on the backside. The dash through. Cram falls. And now Coily gets kicked, but it's still not enough to stop him. Stormy drops. Yooms might just be the next on the chopping block, but Pro doesn't care. They're coming down the mid lane.
And if there's one thing that I've learned about the Cambodians, don't mess with their assassin plays, especially when it comes down to Ling, because they are nasty with it as they're looking to open up the inhibitor with a Lord empowered wave just after.
Yeah.
Gone.
That's gonna be it.
GG.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pro Esports tied the score.
What a prediction with the I'm offended. Holy cow, we got a real game on our hands, 1-1, as both sides refuse to back down. I mean, SRG, they can't be sad about that. The same can be said about Pro. The outplays were really good this time.
I'll tell you what, we're not
I
sad.
hope they ban Linger.
But as we see, that doesn't happen. Look at how Cram gets just chain CC to death. There's nothing that he could do, and once he dies, there's nothing that SRG could do. So vertically, they don't want to clear their own jungle, they also want to clear the opponent's jungle. And if your XP is winning, bonus, if your mid duo is winning as well, your jungle, your position one is going to have such a good time.
Yeah, I just don't see it being a good game for a Ruby potential pickup again.
Okay.
If ever Sorry and Felix does want to consider that. It's simply because of the presence of a Valentina this time, which I feel like if you pair together with the Badang in multiple ways, stealing away the I'm offended through the IMU ultimate, then that could just mean more and more damage for Pro Esports in terms of the team fights, because that's multiple layers of crowd control. You also don't know the kind of frontline that we are going to expect from Cram as well. So they
Also,
would
they
just
should be
probably
banning.
enhance their team fight capabilities if ever they go
don't know,
for
like
the
Winter
Ruby route
Leslie.
all over again. But again,
they
there
are
are
all
a couple
focused on
more
the
options
mark.
out there, and considering that there's a XP lane matchup you just really want to guarantee
Yeah.
if weaker
Otherwise, it
side,
might
then
be
there's a
just
chance we
a
also see it
simple
considered a
Harita or
must for
Patty.
Pro Esports in this round.
So,
Do you let the
any of
Freya
that
go
might
through?
be a good one. Good one that they ban Moscow.
That's a good question. Yeah. Here's the thing. I feel like
Because
Freya
along with
could
the
do
Eudora
it
and
if
the Irara
they're
pick,
looking
Moscow will
at
be
Pro
deadly.
Esports' fourth pick. Does not have a lot of crowd control because Freya's tankiness comes from lifesteal, right? And then your picks
It
like
should
the
be
arena is
either
just by healing
Pakito or
very
Freya
fast. So
ban,
I
let's
feel
see.
like the Freya, as long as
Oh,
there's not
they
much crowd control, so
chose
she
to
can
go
keep
with
basic
Alex.
attack to death, then I think they're like, you know what, we can go for Freya again.
What
If the
will
fourth
innocent
pick,
ban now?
whatever it is, has zero crowd control, then yeah, maybe Freya. If not, maybe something like a Terizla would be a better option,
In
just to be a
Catgirl,
tanky
we
frontline.
can
Okay.
Like a Terizla
we trust
would
the
be
process.
a better option, just to be a tanky frontline.
Okay.
Moskov ban,
Yeah.
so we won't see that.
Coach Arcadia,
And we also don't know if like
Coach
SRG
Catgirl.
are considering.
Wait, honestly, another pick. One of Cram's favorite is the Lapu.
Yeah.
I feel like it is going to be good enough still. And there's a potential for a pick like a Sora where I can see how they're going to play is someone goes in, please kill Eudora fast. Once Eudora's out of the
I
picture,
feel like
it's a bit
Terizla will
safer
be
for the
picked
Link to
this
come
match.
in. So they have two options. Either
By
have a tank
either of
to
the-
absorb all the damage or kill the Eudora so fast that the Link can just clean up.
Yeah. And we also don't know if
Someone loves you, Brigida, but
It's-
that's every day, bro.
It's Brigado. It was Brigado.
Brigado?
That's probably not me. I'm just
Games
kidding.
on the
Coach,
arm.
they go with
Thank you
the
very
Harry.
much. But going back, it's going to be another Harith
One
for
of the top
Kuzen, and
picks
we don't know if, again,
for the
SRG
MSC.
might want to consider a double fighter setup as well, since the Freya is still open, as
Yeah.
you've mentioned. So
Yeah.
there's a possibility they go for that in gold, and then
Harith-
another hero in
Harith
EXP
versus-
if they just want to play around the Ling for Crab, and that just
Harith versus-
makes them a lot more team fight heavy as well. That's just going to help them execute much more of the
It should be Upsidia, but
maybe
these
creative,
pro players will
creative
not go
angles
with
that
it.
you were
So
talking about earlier, Lefel, but a lot of the other
Let's
marksmen
see.
are also still available nonetheless
let's
if they
see
want to
whether they
consider
go
that, but
Patito or
I'm really considering a
Claude
Freya
or-
potential here.
Okay. Innocent had a great game one, set the tone.
Ooh.
Yu Zhang.
Yu Zhang coming in the
Great,
EXP
of
as
course,
well as a
great.
Clint. Okay, I'm gonna go very fast for this
Great
one.
one, great
This
pick
means
from
Pro Esport,
SRG.
if they pick up a tank in the EXP, they will lose. Yu Zhang's great in lane, but more devastating
But
in
then
terms of
Yu
turtle
Zhang
fights,
will get
team fights, anything in the
annihilated
river.
by
He
Eudora,
will
right?
be able to dive in, stop them. The anti-CC that Yu Zhang has helps him a lot. And Clint, if he gets going, the burst is going to be so high. There's a chance that Hirara won't be able to get into the iframes and just die instantly.
Isn't this also just like one of the best ways to deal with a Eudora? You just fly around
Yeah.
the Eudora and you don't care about the threat of getting stunned as long as you're still in your dragon form. So,
so I
Trying to
think
stun
Siren
me
will
when
go
I'm
with
lightning.
okay.
Freya.
So I think they got to answer so much here. Laning one.
Yeah. Game 3 of our first series of Group B.
As we jump on into this match point for either side, and I gotta agree with the table here. It is a tough game to call as both compositions are distinct in what they want to do, but most importantly, it changes and fluctuates depending on the game state, and each one of these phases is going to be devastating for those who give first blood.
Let's be honest, all three games have been a tough game to call. It has been a coin flip back and forth between these two teams. I do feel like SRG, there's a lot on the line of how is Innocent going to do on this Clint. Yes, sometimes the Clint can be an amazing pick, but for me, I worry that there's just not enough of a box around him, and he could be an easy target for Pro Esports.
I think he's going to be the main anchor of the team. He's going to be coming in the last,
The only thing
the last
is
person to
Felix
show up. I
picking
think
Freya.
it's going to be Cram who
Other
has to
than that,
somehow zone
almost all of it is
outside
safe,
to keep
and
him
here
outside
are-
of that area, and the rest of the team need to figure out how to way to deal with Sorry and Felix, because let me tell you, that vengeance is going to buy him like 3 seconds worth of time, and that could be like anywhere between 6 to 19 auto attacks.
Very, very fair at that. Both teams, though, taking it slow here. Nobody going for
Actually,
the
the
big
Cambodian
invades. You
teams
do
are
see
doing
Yoons
good
kind
against
of
Malaysia.
checking out Orange Buff to at least figure out the pathing of Coily here. But nobody trying to overextend. It is game 3. It is a lot on the line right now.
A lot on the line. I love the pull yourself together coming out from
Let's
Steve.
see the emblem.
It is a lot on the line.
Quantum charge for 3 of them. It will give you that critical burst and the movement speed. Oh, interesting. Valentina going with fighter emblem. Okay. Not emblem, fighter lifesteal. Also, we see War Cry on the Freya. So consecutive damage might be there. And Impure Rage on the Harit. Great.
A lot on the line. I love the pull yourself together coming out from Sa. He understands. I'm willing to trade flippers, but most importantly, if I catch somebody without theirs, it's game over for them. And I like the fact that Pro have adjusted, right? They didn't get super aggressive in the mid stages of the game. And more importantly, for the mid lane, they want SRG to kind of walk out here. They've already figured out the jungle pathing of where Sakai's is going to be with the help of Sigurd and Pepe, and he's made sure he knows, okay, he started on orange buff. They're going to show back up on this turtle site again, so level 4s are going to be key.
Good poke from Innocent there. Is forced to use the Revitalize, the Rejuvenation. On the boss side, Turtle will be up. Sakai's going to look for any angle in, but again, both teams just taking things so slow. It's so different compared to what we saw previously.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Speak of the devil, though, a lot of damage onto Yums. Yums taking out first blood into the hands of Coily. Basaw's going to fall next as Stormy finds a kill. Sakai's looking for a target, but forced to run away. Pro Esports taking domination over the pit. Cram drops as well. 2 members down inside of SRG. Skies isn't done just yet. Coily low. Stormy keeping vision. Yums back to the party. Doesn't have Fist Crack available to him. He's still level 3. So we can't get a big playoff. Sorry, and Phoenix zoning them away as Pro Esports takes the first turtle.
They tried to drag this out as long as possible, and really unfortunate for Cram, right? He finds the initial assist, but unfortunately he can't keep fighting forever when there's so much CC on the opposite side. Unlucky for Stormy, wasn't able to get Steel Wrath of the Dryads fast enough to buy him those precious few seconds to get a little bit more out of his Shah Residue passive. In the meantime, though, this first turtle already in the hands of Pro, a very slight lead, but the lane states hasn't really changed too much. Maybe for Sari and Felix, but for everybody else, it's pretty neutral.
Sari and Felix just consistently rotating up to this mid. We can already see the slight aggression. They smelled blood. They're looking for maybe a little something more here. Cram hanging out in lane. But I mean, that's kind of the plan, right? You wait until the objectives, and that's when you want to use that Black Dragon. To whereas when you're on this Freya, you want to move around a bit more. You have the ability to do that.
Yeah, the lane states are so important, especially like manipulating these waves. Cram understands if he hard shoves this, there's a good chance that Sariam Felix, if he's there at the right time, he's able to kind of freeze him out and will always take a negative trade against him if he's next to his tower.
Oh, Coily walks right into it. Danger has struck. Sakai's gets the kill.
Beautiful and intelligent invade here. They knew for a fact he was going to show up, knowing that he started on the top side of the map. So this was all pre-planned by SRG, and also not to mention the fact that they've denied information. On the top side, nothing much is going to be happening here, right? Like, we're expecting both teams to get more aggressive, but I think the lane states are by far too important to disrupt.
You know, you would think Pro has maybe learned the lesson a little bit. SRG has loved coming down to this bot lane. They love that tri-bush, but it looks like Pro loves Stormy. They're looking for the target. Sorry, Felix needs one more hit. He finally gets it. Consistently finding moments to get an advantage.
Every single time. And luckily for Sariam Felix, he's not wasting much. He's just going. He wants a whole priority. Doesn't mind sacrificing. Oh.
Nice fist crack. Doesn't fully commit, though. Knows he wasn't able to get more than one.
That's a Black Dragon form. I think they just have to give this up unless Cram makes a super play where he petrifies 3.
Cram is looking for it. Unable to connect, though. Sariam Felix connected himself. Will get knocked up, but it's just to make sure Cram can get away. Pro Esports moves on to the turtle as Sakai's points his eyes elsewhere.
All right, that was expected here. It was going to be a no contest no matter what. Yuma's made an attempt, unfortunately. That's going to be the signal to back away. But Sariam Felix is becoming a little bit of a problem. He's starting to take more control over his side of the map, making it more difficult for people like Sakai to even take his regular camps.
He's level
Pro
more than
Esports, good control over the rotations, good control over the map. Sariam Felix seems to be a step ahead of Cram. We saw this in game number 1, though. SRG just needed to wait for that mid state so they can start working together, start overpowering as a team. Right now, they're still playing a very split-up game. Do we think that moment's going to happen around the 7-8 minute mark when some of those second items start really locking in?
I think it depends on who gets this an upcoming turtle, right? If they can deny Sakai... Oh,
a lot of damage on Yums. So, able to get the kill. Sakai's wants to try to dash on the backside. He's unable to connect. The stuns are just too much. The stiff arms are always there. Tempest comes down. Maybe a bad play. 3 engages there. Coily locks in. Diving under the tower. Finding Innocent. Stormy Just look at Coyle, he doesn't want to stop.
Keeps on going in.
So good at extending their leads, but it's still going to be flying clouds, right? They will be able to get back into their base, into the fountain, and immediately start heading back to where they need to be. They can respond fast, and Pro recognizes this, right? Luckily, we're seeing how fast with the hand cams and how quick these people are playing. But let's look at this one more time, because again, it's really coming down to how hard can we punish Yumes. We take away the trigger man, and the rest of the weapon just doesn't fire anymore.
Yeah, and Cinco de Pepe, PPPPP, whatever you want to call him, the guy has been on fire, always catching
Nice dance by
and
Yara.
it's not just this game. We saw before, even on the game that they lost, this Belleric has been a nuisance overall.
I don't
Makes
even
it so
know what
hard for
it's trying to do.
SRG to
I
want
am
to
not
engage.
doing any
Yeah, and worse yet,
significant
now
play
we're
by
seeing the
so far.
infection starting to bleed out from that
So
EXP
far,
lane. Small camps
I
getting taken
can't
away,
see
and now they
any
fight.
good
A
play
lot of
from
damage
them.
on a Stormy.
Yeah,
Stormy
you get
not able to get
banned
away.
by
Storm feels the
Belleric.
Valkyrie set, but in the back lines, guys trying to make up for the loss of
Blink
his
versus
teammates, but he's
Freya.
unable to do anything in the face of Pro Esports.
Cram
Cram falls
will
next,
be
and
held
Pro
down.
Esports lead this game with 5,000 gold. It's nothing but innocent left.
They can't do anything about it. The peel is too good, and if SRG makes the first move, it's gonna be Pro who finishes it. As they take this T2, let's look at this fight one more time, because again, this is a terrible position for SRG. They want to have a traditional front to back. Innocent
Very
doesn't
bad,
have
man.
as much mobility now that he's playing Clint, instead of having something as good
Even
as
Ira
a
is backing
Harith
up
or
the
even a
Frontier
Muscat, or
Circle.
more importantly, the Claude.
And they keep getting disconnected. It's no longer a front to back, it's a front and back, because someone else is standing in between them. And at that point, once they're split up, Stormy gets taken out. Sakai's already committed to the backside, which means
And
he's
he
going to
gets
get
to
taken
see
out
the
because he's
goal
got no
shot.
backup from
Thank
his
you.
team.
4.8.
SRG is
So
getting
it is doing fine
intersected
so
every
far.
time.
It's
But
starting to look like
Harith
a bit of bullying,
on
right? You know,
goal
he's
is
coming
way
into
high.
stealing the meat from your sandwich, leaving you
Followed
with only
by
2
Freya
pieces of bread and
and
nothing good in
Yara.
the middle. It's
So
difficult, but it's not impossible. We need to start
still
seeing the third item
they
start to
have to
come on
come
through.
before
Unfortunately for
battling.
Cram, not
Let's
even the
see.
second item has been
Yumes
completed, so he hasn't been
is
able to sustain as hard as he wants to.
not able
And
to.
there, the Wrath of the Dryads is out. This might be the signal.
Still it was
SRG
able
can't force it,
to
though. I don't think they can
get the
force it
ult
right
of
now.
Belleric.
Oh, the
He was able
IMU
to do
got
that.
wasted, took the Salmon Force, did not get the Wrath of the Dryads there. They're just gonna have to let this happen.
Sakai's at least on top side looking for some play on the map. They haven't taken a single tower yet. So not only is it a huge gold lead, it's a huge map lead for Pro Esports. Sorry, I'm Felix, 2-0-3. The man has been a monster on this Freya.
Let me check how
The worst part is that they
Yumes
have no real. Oh,
Big stun, a lot of damage on a
is
Stormy.
for upset.
Cram takes it as well. Coily, untouched, unfazed. Another tower should drop here. Pro Esports relentless.
this is disgusting. Like, Sa can do this forever. This is such an impressive play style. 80 seconds to 103. That's a 23-second difference
Okay,
just because he has
Yara will
pull
get
yourself
Yara.
together. And Sa's gonna do it again. He's gonna keep repeating this process, targeting Stormy to make sure that they don't have any form of counter engage, because Yumes is the only one who's allowed to walk forward.
So do we think we're regretting the Ling pick up front? Maybe should they have gone for something else? I feel like at this point, the Harar or the Ling, it's an even trade no matter what. No matter what, you get one of them. Maybe you can start prioing something else. Or is Pro Esports just outplaying in a general sense?
I think it's outplay, and I think they were thinking, I wish we had Lapu, but here we go.
Sakai's looking for a way into the backside. Coily still able to get it once again. Sakai's looking for the steal. At least they don't lose any members. They still have a holy defense in the mid and the bot. This could be defendable still against Pro Esports.
That was a difficult contest here, especially for Sakai's. Despite the bladed Tempest, right now he is 2 levels down to Hirara and has plenty of base damages to kind of go above and beyond the retribution numbers that we're seeing so far. Now that SRG backed all the way into the corner, we're seeing a repeat of game number 1, but this time for Pro.
Skies continues to play the off lanes while his team defends. The holy defense will be in the mid side for when this Lord comes, meaning Pro Esports may not be able to get a full push in.
Cancel the
Back
recall.
off. Is this the 1v1?
He's got to cancel the recall.
Ooh.
There we go. That's it. That's what Coily has been doing all game. Oh, you're going to recall in a very dangerous spot. I'm going to waste another 5 seconds of your life. And these 5 seconds have been stacking up already.
Seal playing the top side. Cinco to Pepe looking for a target. Cram forced to back off.
Okay.
Wrath the Dryad has not come out just yet. He's holding on to it. He finally pops it. A lot of damage on Ayums. Dive into the backside. Kuzin gets the kill. Sakai's into the backside as well. Tempest of Blades comes down. Unable to find any targets. Sakai just can't secure it as Coily gets it with barely a sliver of health. Two members drop on the side of SRG, but they do defend their inhibitors.
It's down to the wire. It's down to 1 HP. That makes the difference in Pro. Unfortunately, it was a good play. The SRG, they had the answer, but they didn't have the economic lead to make it work.
Honestly, though, the fact that they lost no inhibitors is still huge. I might rather want to lose two of my team members than lose that off lane. Lord is going to be up soon. Macro is going to be important. Where we are at in this game right now.
We are at quite a difficult moment for SRG because now, at the very least, they're willing to throw bodies for these inhibitors. They don't want to be put in a forced mistake scenario, but at the same time, they clearly don't have enough numbers to finish off the correct targets. I think the only person they can really jump on is Sa. Kozin, he's vulnerable for the next 30 seconds, but by the time the Lord actually spawns, he's going to get the Purify up again.
It's Pro Esports. I think at this point they just continue to take it slow, or is there a clock eventually ticking for SRG? Because I still am on the board that SRG is not completely out since they didn't lose any inhibitors.
That's a good question.
It's comfortable, right? The map isn't, it's not like what we saw in game one where Pro had 0 inhibitors. It's going to be hard to fight for a Lord. The possibility is still slightly there.
It is. Thank you, Ziffer, for pulling it up. Already one step ahead of me here. But yes, 3 items already done, but I don't know how they're going to take advantage of the Sky Piercer. This might have been a little bit of a mistake on Innocent's part, but at the same time, I think it's a lot of faith as well. The rest of the team is like, we will put them at 1 HP. If you had Sky Piercer just a little bit earlier and you could auto-attack them, that would have been a 2-for-2 trade. So at this stage, my hands are up here. I'm praying that SRG can find that angle, but Pro, they have not made this easy.
Look at this position from Yumes right now. They're definitely going to try to fight for this Lord. Looking for a cheeky back. They do not know. It's a very clean position. Nobody checked the bush on the side of Pro Esports. He's going to come into the backside. Conceal play. Can he target down? Yumes looking for Sakai's gets the Lord and a big fist crack. But Pro Esports hasn't fallen just yet. Saw drops as SRG tries to get away with the steal of their life. The steal of this game. Coily low. Stormy shuts him down. SRG have flipped the table.
And they've done it. They've done it. I thought they were going to play for the fight, but unfortunately, Yum said, no, we are going to go straight for Coily. They lock him down. The iframes are good, but it's not over just yet. Kozin!
Stormy tries to do something, unable to do it. Kuzin. Koizin?
I don't know. Kozin slapped him. Just a big backhand to Stormy saying, no. This is not over just yet. We're dominating this game, and we're going to try and run away with it.
SRG, just one play. We were talking about it. It wins the clock ticking. They didn't need a clock. They just needed Yumes in a beautiful position coming in from the backside. Sakai's finally able to get a neutral objective under his belt in game number 3. And now they are knocking on the door of Pro Esports.
I can't believe both Cram and Yumes technically survived that. They used everything to try and disrupt Coily from actually taking away this Lord. And SRG knew that if this next Lord falls into Pro Esports' hands, there's a pretty good chance this game ends in the next 4 minutes. But now they've bought themselves some time. The investment has been worth it, and we are getting to the end game. Now that we're at 44K to 47, despite a 2.5K lead for Pro, Sakai's alongside with Innocent have completed all of their core items.
Man, they didn't check that bush. They didn't check that bush. I've seen that bush be used against teams that I like in my own favor. Nice fist crack, though, does come in. Koizin takes a little bit of damage.
It's
Black
good.
Dragon.
It's good.
The Petrify. Koizin goes down. Sakai's able to get the kill. The response, though, comes in from Coily. The iframes just aren't enough. Cram falls. He's able to find it. Sakai's with a double under his belt. It's a brawl. As sorry, I'm Felix just tries to get away, but Coily finds Stormy and ties it up. It's 3 for 2. Pro Esports definitely not out of this.
The push and pull was good from SRG, but Pro said, I got one better. Really unfortunate for Sakai. He was willing to die to trade off. Let's look at the replay one more time because this did not work out the way that Pro wanted to. And all of a sudden, with the counter engage coming in from not only Yumes, but forcing Pepe to drop down that Wrath of the Dryads, really turned the fight in SRG's favor. But here's the problem. After everybody continuously fought for this long. The big play came down to when Sakai's ended up going down after Bellerin caught him with the taunt before he goes. Then, how do you deal with a Freya? You can't deal with that fully scaled up Freya, man.
Man, I think the whole crowd right now is on the edge of their seats. We are on the edge of our seats.
Everybody's praying. They're praying for their teams, hoping there's a God out there to give them some strength, because 7-15 so far in Pro has not been able to put the final tombstone on SRG.
And everyone still has inhibitors.
Yeah.
Meaning, honestly, this could go another Lord after this. If this is just a clean Lord take where nobody loses too much, this could still go a little bit farther. Pro Esports is going to start it up. Cram does have Black Dragon. We're going to wait for that one. Yumes as well with the fist crack.
Here we go.
Green dots everywhere. Sakai's in the backside. Wait a second. A lot of damage. He gets it once again. And the damage comes down onto Saw. Yumes trying to get away with his life as Cram holds the rest of the team back. Masari and Felix won't make it against Sakai's.
Oh my goodness, Cram, despite everything that he absolutely tried, the dashes from Coily, he played it perfectly. I-frame to dodge, manages to slip past, and even then, it wasn't good enough. If they can hold on for just a little bit longer and protect an inhibitor, maybe there's an opportunity, but I don't think it's going to show right now. Here they come, because Kozin, he still has that Zaman Force.
He does have the Zaman's Force. F's low though. Crash will come in. Zaman's Force drops. Cram taken out. Coily's going for more. Dashes in, does miss. Has to get out of the base. Taken out. Innocent with the shutdown. Into the backside. Sakai's falls. Poison. The kid's on fire.
He's on fire. Pepe managed to flicker out just in time before the ammunition was about to dome him. Oh my goodness. I don't know who's going to win this game, but by God, this has been the most fierce competition we've seen so far. Stormy now finishing off that Holy Crystal for the sake of the extra little bit of damage. You notice that every single time both teams interact, so many people walk away with 1 HP despite Sky Piercers being in play.
I feel like honestly with that last Lord push, all Pro really needed to get was an inhibitor out of it. You only had 3 members. You're up against the Clint and a lot of just siege defense potential. The fact that they were able to get the inhibitor is a good start. But like I said, we're going to another Lord. Pro Esports still has inhibitor standing. SRG has gotten to the max item point almost. We're getting very close to tie game material.
All right, Zipper, I need your help. We need to know how many Thunderbelt stacks Yumes actually has. I need to know the numbers here to see how much damage he can technically take. Because so far, Kozin has been absolutely melting. Oh!
Still play. Saw gets a stun. Cram.
It's
unable to get away. The Black Dragon comes out, but Kozin still gets him. Sakai's with a beautiful blazing duet finds Saw. But Coily's chasing him down along with Kozin. 1-for-1 Mage for EXP.
Not bad, not bad. And honestly, I think it's more worth it to get rid of Saw. Now they don't have to worry about, something getting blown out of nowhere. And the best part is by the time the Lord actually spawns, Cram, he's already up and ready to go in comparison to the staggered death timer coming in from Eudora on Saw on the opposite side. So if SRG want to take first position, they absolutely can. But then again, is it playing to your strengths, or do you want to be the ones who push Pro out of the scenario, right? Make him hesitate on the trigger finger.
I feel it. I think without Cram, though, it is a little hard to break through. But Sakai's either way, even without Cram, has been doing such a great job at invading that backside and slipping out so quickly. Yumes once again looking for position around this Lord. As Pro Esports play the map, are we going to see Yumes look for that back push again, and will Pro Esports check it?
Oh, I don't know. He doesn't seem to be taking that space just yet. There's no reason to. And I think from Pro's side, they've kind of set a neutral state. Top side is going to eventually turn into a slow push. Same goes for that bottom side as well. With that extra minion here, SRG need to be the ones who reveal themselves first. But if they do, that means Pro is going to start blitzing the Lord. It's a game of cat and mouse. It's about information. It's just corporate espionage at this point.
Corporate espionage, I like it. We did see Coily whittle down to that top side to get the push back. SRG are going to look for the engage. Cram hasn't used the Black Dragon just yet. Yumes there as well. Has an immortality. Can take a lot of shots. Can take the big push. The set guys looks for an angle. Pro Esports Bring the Lord down to 10%. Sakai's hasn't made the engage just yet. He finally comes in, but Coily still gets it. Sorry, Felix backs off. Pro Esports got what they wanted. They're not going to force a fight.
No, they're not going to go any further than this. This was a dangerous position to be in, but now we see the minions pushing into the way Stormy will respond just in time. But this is where it gets really difficult, because now we're talking about a Lord that also gives you damage reduction. Pro Esports just need to gather the troops and get ready to try and press their advantage into it, which is great for Innocent. But the question is whether or not that damage reduction is going to be more than the true damage Innocent can pump out.
It's a lot of damage from Innocent, I will be honest. Pro Esports are going to take this bottom lane, though. It's going to be a double push from both sides. Sakai's cleared the top. It's going to be a little bit helpful, but he's got to get back to the base quickly.
Oh, Innocent, he's running out of ult charges here. He's still... Oh!
A lot of damage onto the bot. A lot of damage onto Cram. Cram may be able to get away from this. Black Dragon comes out looking for the re-engage. Masarian Felix still stops him. Sakai's going up against Kuzin, but Kuzin always seems to win out. Lord finally does get taken out, but Innocent is collecting heads right now. Headshot after headshot. Nobody can get away with the re-engage. He's done. The shot finally comes in, and Kuzin's got the dogs forced back. Pro Esports up against Stormy. That'll be it against the odds, against the favorites. Pro Esports still looking for that last Canyon minion. They will take game number 3.
What an insane game to kick off day number 2 here. Cambodia finally gets the win. Obviously, both sides are tough competitors, but by God, do they produce some of the best junglers we see in the internationals. There's no way to be disappointed with that game. I think even SRG knows. It's like, guys, Hirara, they outplayed us. That's really what it boiled down to. They outplayed us this time.
Revamp on that. It's no longer the big stun on that ult. You get to bring one of your teammates back to life, essentially. So even more sustainability in terms of how long you want to drag out a team fight. The target could literally be anyone on the team, honestly. Anyone on Aurora's side could benefit from that. You bring back the Uranus, you bring back the Beleric, you bring back Siggy Boomer Tienzi. It could all be a good play.
Ooh. Good little flicker burn there. Battle spell down for Sanji off of that. First turtle is going to be up here to second too, so both teams getting into movement for that turtle. One thing I would say, because of the nature of the compositions, expect long team fights, right? I think that's the biggest thing. You're used to seeing really high speed, high stakes team fights, but with these kind of compositions, both sides, and a revitalize for JP, hold on. Speaking of.
Nice dive into the mid, Tienzi able to get the turtle. Carl Teasy on the run, look at the damage coming out from the side of Aurora. One more shot into Sanji, and Sanji finally falls his first blood over to Lunar. But in the midst of that, Tienzi drops.
And there's a respawn, right? So that's what we're talking about. That revive is going to play a part, play a role throughout the game here. But yeah, objective secured by Aurora. They're going to go ahead and try to put some pressure on Carl TZ to get his buff, but he's going to go ahead and get that just fine. But as we saw from that last fight, that's what I wanted to point out. You know, JP's revitalize in this sense is pivotal because he needs to extend the team fight for the team. You've got to go ahead and deal with the heals that are coming out from that Rafaela pick for Rosa. But not only that, but being able to kind of weave in and out of the fights because of the Belric, being able to, you know, cast that Wrath of the Dryad, lock down these members of TL, you could get stopped in your tracks, and that's not where you want to be here. So the timing on being able to extend team fights are crucial for TL.
All right, so Aurora, though, getting that first turtle. Even though they lose Tienzi, levels still very similar between Carl TZ and Tienzi. Sanford able to get that kill. Lunar able to get a kill for themselves. So both the XP laners benefiting from that last fight. But still, we're already seeing how Aurora can just kind of bully TL away in some of those big 5v5s. The only thing they're going to have to watch out for, I think at this point, is Sanford getting to that back line, something that he is so good at.
So the Esmeralda does really well. Good item pickup already here for Rosa. Flask of the Oasis locked in, helping with that sustainability that we're really talking about. It's a highlight of this lineup, and this was kind of thrown out there, right? With the theory, the kind of theory crafting out there about after this patch, you know, would we see these healing roams pop up? And I know it's, you know, this time it's in the hands of Rosa, but you could think about how dynamic a lineup can be now with the Rafaela, and even, for example, maybe a Matilda mid we see in the future. You know, Estes, of course, still being one of those heroes that comes into mind with this kind of concept, but second turtle is up. Let's see if this one will once again go over to Aurora. Carl Teasy is going to make his way, but he might be here a little bit too late for this take.
Yeah, he's not going to go for it. He is going to back off. He takes a lot of damage from Lunar, gets a stun onto him. JP getting a little vision as well. Sanford not going to fully commit, but Aurora wants to take the fight. A big Mound Shocker onto multiple members, getting the stun. Aurora decides not to go for this orange buff. They are going to back off.
This is one of those things, Trex, where it's like, okay, Team Liquid knows the play here. With this type of, your claw needs to go ahead and build up. You got to get those items here. Good flicker burnt. They have to choose their fights really carefully, and that's one of the difficult things. You can play off the Eudora, that stun that you get packed in. Even the Fork Lightning is great, good for poking, but you're essentially, to get a kill for Team Liquid isn't the main focus right now. They need to go ahead and just let them scale themselves up on this kind of lineup.
If there's a team that can channel patience outside of Team Liquid or some other teams, Aurora is definitely one of them. They're not trying to force fights here. They're getting objectives. They're playing the map slowly. They're looking for the slow burn, the slow kill right now, and that is going to start to scale a little bit. You have the Freya. You have this heal, and the fact that it is a mid-lane Rafaela, not a roamer, that's going to actually start to benefit. She's going to benefit from some of those items and maybe even output a little bit of damage as this game goes on. Team Liquid does have some scale of their own. And I mean, this is probably one of the slowest games we've seen so far in groups.
I was going to say, very different from our previous matchup, but here we go.
Big AOG connects, does get the knock-up. But Tianzi finds Sanji the backside. Carl Teasy not able to get away. Lunar gets the kill. JP gonna be next, chopped off, taken out. And Sanford falls as well. A double kill into the hands of Tianzi. Aurora take a huge lead 6 minutes in.
And that is the power of this lineup. You saw it right there, the amount of heals, the amount of movement speed. As we look at the replay here from STC, this pressure was around that purple buff. Pagu made his way around, but crashing in under the tier 1 turret and getting to lock down these members, but then just outlast Team Liquid. That's what the power play is for this kind of composition. This is why it ends up working out. You can see the men behind it for this one. This concept is working for Aurora as they get now the third and last turtle of this game.
This is what I mean when I say we are just unpacking the meta.
Yeah.
The layers are still peeling off right now, and we still got a long way to go till we figure out exactly what is what. And Coach Midnight's showing it right now. We have the Raphael, and it is working beautifully. Definitely we can't count TL out just yet, but the fact that Aurora is up 4K right now, 2 towers, TL has been unable to take anything. If they can keep this lead past the first Lord, that is unheard of.
Again, this was a big thing, for a lot of people coming into this year's MSC here at EWC 26 was, just where would the meta be? How would the current contenders for that championship and the defending champions themselves adapt to a meta that's quite different, right? Just from last year alone, just from a few months ago for a lot of people. And it's already showing here. Oh, no.
Oh, no escape from that one. Teddy will go down. Aurora looking for new targets now into the mid side. Carl Teasy just wants to get his camps. But Aurora want more. They want to come for this tower wave, crashing down the mid, and look at the grab. A lot of damage onto TL. Into the backside, Aurora able to push Sanji away, and Siggy Boom locks on. JP falls as well. Aurora is relentless on this mid lane.
Aurora is relentless in this game, and they'll get another as Sanford is the next to fall.
I thought for sure they were done, but now they're under towers. TNC with a triple in the face of Team Liquid. In the face of a holy defense, they're jumping under towers.
Man, oh man, who would have thought this is what you'd see in an opening matchup here for Team Liquid, and now they're desperately trying to hold on to the mid tower.
And they're still under it. The heal is insane. Tower shots to the face. They're immortal right now.
Can they end it?
I think they can. Minions down the mid side. Down goes Sanford. They're going to pile on to Carl Teasy, and they're going to pile on to this crystal. It's a wave still coming. They got to wait for it. Death counters.
They got to wait for the minions. They're going to make their way slowly here as they put on a show for us. Team Liquid, can they defend it still?
JP and Sanji are up. AOG comes out. Wave of minions comes out as well. Aurora can't fully overcommit. A big stun coming in from Sanji. But they fall. JP, Sanji down for the count. Aurora Gaming don't want to waste any time. Sanford dives in with a fallen star moon. It's another wave coming. Will Aurora stay here?
Okay, they bought some time. They cleared things out, but man, the stacks right now on TNZ are insane, and they're looking to end.
They're gonna keep on going. They're not gonna give it up. Finally able to lock onto the base. TNZ will help Aurora take game number 1.
What a statement this is for the entire teams competing here at MSC. I mean, even Aurora Gaming is, they're secure gaming. I don't.
In the great words of LaFell, is that the possibility of a rhyme on that? That was under 10 minutes, I feel like. Maybe a little bit more, but the fact that he at all.
My goodness, you look at the highlight.
To have that matchup. But I can't help but feel like even the Belleric is something we're not entirely sure of if it's going into Rome.
It could go EXP, but personally for me, it just doesn't feel like a Sanford kind of hero.
That's true.
I feel like he drives a bit better when he can dive. Doesn't matter to the jungle, mid, or gold. I feel like the stationary hero for Sanford kind of wastes his potential, wastes his talent.
And I just feel like a lot of us would rather not see these real...
They're back.
Hey.
They're on the same page here, Brig. Your overthinking has helped them out.
So we're all overthinking right now.
Continuing to put pressure on all sides of the map, and this whole time, again, Siggyboom has just been able to go ahead and farm up on this gold lane for Keto. You know he's gonna hurt when he starts showing up to these fights, and so far, when that next turtle comes up, it's gonna be really dangerous here. They continue to try to delay Carl TZ. He needs these buffs. He needs to be able to go ahead and catch up. He's 2 levels down right now against TNZ.
Sanford once again taking a lot of damage. Deadly Magic unable to get the finish. But Aurora everywhere right now, and the Barats is looking clean. It's bulky. Lunar continues to land those stuns.
Yeah.
Continues to get those pushbacks.
Again, this is just really a smart drafting, but then just excellent execution right now from Aurora Gaming. From game 1 now to game 2, they have stopped the Stampede in its tracks, essentially. Now for Team Liquid, if they want to get back into this game, they need to start making some plays happen here. But the question is, Trex, where do you do that when your jungle's this far behind? You know, you have a Zetian who essentially is able to go ahead and give you some vision, get that little minor stun in. But if you're choosing these fights that you can't win, it's going to further delay you. So I think, again, they find themselves in this situation of game 1 where it's like, do we wait a little bit here? Do we try to scale up into this game?
Lunar is going to go back to base here. And I think, yeah, Team Liquid at this point, they kind of have to. You got to look for Teddy to get some gold. Luckily, he hasn't gone down. Carl TZ as well hasn't taken a death. He's lost a purple buff early on in the game. It's why they didn't try to contest on that last turtle. They know that they're a bit behind right now. Not even just a bit, it's almost 3K gold. Will they even try to fight for turtle number 2, honestly?
With that retribution, doesn't look like that's going to be the case. So this turtle will go in the hands of Aurora. Right now, it seems like the call is, yeah, just wait. But hold on, Teddy could be in trouble. Luckily, JP is here to keep him secure. Turtle's locked in, though. It's secured. Where's Pagu going to go? This is the best thing that Carl can do, though. Push that bottom side, get some extra gold, but there's a fight.
Not just a fight, a big fight, a nice Wrath and Dryad onto 3 members of Aurora. Sanji able to get the kill, but look at the fatal links, and look at the damage. Sanford trying to vengeance through, able to find one, another. Sanford picking it up, but will eventually drop a double kill before taken out by Siggyboom. Well, this is happening though. Carl TZ taking a purple buff of his own. They're trying to even the playing field.
Hey, Tretz, as bad as things were, at least it wasn't worse here. That was a great Fatal Link setup. As we look at, well, we got a chance to look at the replay here. Look at the Fatal Links after that setup. This could have been way worse, but again, some maneuvering here, some finesse from TL keeps them from getting decimated here under that tier 2 turret. And it also, mind you, allows Carl TZ once again to get what he can, takes a buff, because he's got to play the catch-up game here. They need to be able to get just ready for that first Lord once it comes up. I wouldn't be surprised if we see them give up the next turtle too. Just again, give that call, do what they can, because they're losing real estate as well on the map, as now some of the tier 1s are falling.
Yeah, and they have to start looking for some pressure on the map. I will say this. You can't count Team Liquid out until after the first Lord, at least in my book. As long as this gold lead stays around 2.5 to 3K, TL will always have a hand to fight with. I'm still waiting for that big moment for Carl Teasy to pop off, though. He's been farming. He's able to come back a little bit. He steals a purple buff. Look at the damage. Does come down onto Lunar. Lunar's able to use the flicker. Tempest of Blades falls as well. And everyone pulled back in. The damage on Aurora is insane. But Evado Links in response. Still not enough as Teddy locks onto Pagu, chasing him down, but there's no escape today. A double kill into the hands of Sanford.
Leave it up to Sanford to make that play. What a final slash he was able to use to set things up, but it's still Aurora. They take down a tier 2 turret. They're finally going to lose the turret in the mid lane, but Aurora now needs to be a little more calculated. They put themselves in that position. They know an Arlot's there, so they got to watch out for that. And so little by little, TL has brought themselves into a position now where maybe they can actually get a turtle, unless still it's that call of give them this one. Let's just get ready for that Lord. JP is going to give that information. Sanji's here as well. They don't want to get caught out here. Carl Teasy's not even a part of this, though, as he wants to push down bot.
Another turtle in the hands of Aurora as Carl Teasy looks for more map. Control. Team Liquid have dropped that gold deficit down. It's only a 700 gold lead over the hands of Aurora. Siggy Boom on the hunt for Carl Teasy. Carl Teasy will be able to get away. On the mid side, Aurora want to reclaim this mid tier 3. Even out playing field. A nice Fatal Links does not connect. Purifies do pop though. Look at the damage onto Lunar. Teddy goes down with Siggy Boom over to the backside. He finds 2. The Sanford locking on though. Tianzi falls. Double kill for 40. Maybe a triple over to the hands of Siggy Boom. Unofficial, but still able to possibly get that final hit. It is a brawl. It is a bloodbath. Aurora and TL. Who would have thought it'd go like this?
Oh, Sanford. Okay, there's not much more I don't think he can do here. Just trying to clear this wave out, but he might take a couple too many hits. Sanford shut down.
A beautiful shutdown into the hands of Siggy Boom. The guy is a monster right now. 5-0-2.
Oh man, look at this. Here's the replay brought to us by STC. Look at Siggy Boom.
Yeah, it comes
he
to the back.
joins this fight from the back, and everybody just lined up there right on target. Again, the bleeding was staunched a little bit because of Sanford's play here. But it's just that case of we're playing from behind. If you're Team Liquid Philippines, you have to be able to make these happen. And now Carl Teasy gets taken down. So not the best timing here for TL to lose their jungler.
I gotta say, Sanford's had some great plays, but there's also been a few times where maybe he stayed a little too long, used a few too many vengeances. Look at Pagu here, hanging out in the bush. He's gonna finally show himself and back off. But they gotta watch out for those angles because Aurora's been so good at attacking from all sides. They're finally gonna be able to take this tier 3 as Pagu zones away Teddy. The tower drops. JP will drop as well. The Deadly Magic should be able to finish it, but no, he gets the health back. Teddy with a blazing duet as Sanford jumps into the backside. Aurora kind of in shambles here. Carl Teasy shows up as well. Tempest of Blaze comes down. He takes out Sanji. Carl Teasy still unable to get a kill though. One more hit. He's terrified. A double kill into the hands of Rosa. Aurora has their number.
Great team fighting from Aurora Gaming there. They knew the plan and they stuck with it. Again, this final slash was great, but also the Blazing Duet wasn't able to get the efficiency it was looking for there from Teddy. TNZ with the fancy moves here to try to stay alive through this all, and he does. Just, again, the fighting that we're seeing from Aurora Gaming has been refined from the last time we saw them play here. And my goodness, they're making it look good.
Aurora's making it look so good, saving the Terrified. All of those little micros. And the thing is, it's not just the small fights that they're winning, they're also winning on map placement. They have the whole package right now.
Trex. This is insane. Look at across the board how much of a lead they have, but especially Siggyboom. You mentioned it, 7-0-4. He's up nearly 3,000 gold against Teddy. And that is not where you want to be. I mean, again, we talked about Paquito in the gold lane. These fighters being brought back into the gold lane when all we've seen for a long time was the Claudes, the Moscows, the Harris. Well, this, once again, changes things, the dynamic of the meta. And you see it in the hands of Siggyboom like this. I mean, where do you start if you're TL? Who do you focus on here? And I think that's the biggest thing. That's why it feels like the Aurora Avalanche, man. It's coming right at them.
The force of nature itself at your front door. Tower will drop. There's no holy defense to bring down this Lord. Aurora Gaming not going to force it, though. They're going to move on to the mid-tier 2. Should be able to take it.
All right. Turrets take a little bit of damage here. The tier 2s will fall. Holy defense shields being held on, but that bottom one is the only one to stay. Conceal's going to be used. Where's Pagu going here? They want this base turret. Oh, JP.
It's a zone, but they're still able to get it. JP going to move on. Fatal Links does connect. It's more of just kind of a stall there as the rest of the team backs off. Still no inhibitors down. TL hold the defense.
All right, you have to start looking at where this could turn over on its head. 6,000 right now for Aurora Gaming. That is a big lead to hold against a team like Team Liquid Philippines. Again, they did it in game 1. They're doing it here in game 2. And it's still looking the same. Again, where do you start if you're Team Liquid? Well, that Lord coming up in about a minute might be something, but do you take that risk? Do you take that gamble to go and just try to make that steal? You know, what we've seen before when the hands of Lings, where you can go in and get that miracle play, that miracle retribution.
I think with the fact that they do have all of their inhibitors still standing, TL could maybe let this Lord slide. They do have some decent ability to defend in a siege. They have the big ult from Sanji. They can get the stuns. They have a Blazing Duet. They have Shred. They can play well in the pocket of their base. It's a hard base to crack. Not only on top of that, you have the Wrath of Dryad, you have the Final Slash. They have a lot of defense measures.
Trex, this is how far behind Teddy is currently. The Corrosive Scythe was just picked up. Usually you see that Trinity locked in. I believe he's got the Trinity now if we can take a look at the items, but you know, 12 minutes in, yeah, he just locked it. That's about 3 minutes behind right now. So that's the big kind of thorn in the rose right now of Team Liquid. You know, how do you deal with that? Now he's online, but even if he comes through, does he have a defensive item to withstand what Aurora Gaming is throwing at him? Yes, you mentioned the Wrath of Dryad, that's a big thing, but maybe you give up the Lord, you go for one more defense, you have a great high ground defense that you can play around with if you have to, but Daytona's welcome's used up here.
Daytona's welcome, does lock on along with Wade on the boss side. Look at the damage on a Teddy! Siggyboom is just unstoppable. The target is locked and he never misses.
Just gonna make it worse right now as 2 fall for Team Liquid. Aurora Gaming will go ahead and get themselves this Lord and get ready to approach the base of Team Liquid again. Again, this has been a really rough one for Teddy, the gold laner of TL, but just the team as a whole, because again, your firepower, once it's taken out, it's mainly into that quad. Carl Teasy might be able to help too, but he was also delayed. So just as a whole, across the board, Team Liquid has been playing with their backs against the wall. So Carl Teasy will cut the waves for where he can, delay this Lord push, and wait for the rest of the team to be up here.
And Siggyboom's trying to lock on. Will he get there? Yes. Tempest Blades drops. It's going to be back for Carl Teasy. A lot of damage comes in, but there's no escape. TNC gets the final hit. Carl Teasy caught too deep in enemy territory.
I've never seen a boxer punch the sky like that. My goodness, Siggyboom. He picks up an immortality, 9-0-5. And now here we go. Lord making its way up top. Going to charge into that base turret and take it down. 20 seconds still for Carl Teasy to be up here, and now Aurora Gaming with a 10,000 gold lead will look to end this series in a sweep.
Aurora Gaming looking to end this. A big Fatal Links does lock on to Sanford, a Blazing Duet to do everything they can to defend, but Aurora Gaming have locked on the base, and the Stampede has been stopped. What can they do against this force of nature? The upset of the day happens. The champions go down, and Aurora Gaming take it 2-0.
A very tough loss here for Team Liquid. And the Cavalry around the world right now seeing this, but I think it's a wake-up call once again for all the teams that are eventually going to be facing up against Aurora Gaming from Turkey here, because, man, what they're doing and what Coach Midnight is doing with this draft, how do you prepare for this? Who would have thought we would have seen this today? In the nature that it did, a sweep and everything else. Again, phenomenal execution here. Alley-ooping it over to Sands as he's able to cap off the kill. Get out of my jungle, says Kyrie.
Yeah, the problem is that once you see the stun be thrown out, he has no way to kind of, close the get out with any iframes at that point. Kelra now getting an early Sky Piercer is great. The question is whether or not he's going to be able to participate in the very first fight here. Because so far, Sans has kind of given the layup over to Kyrie. At some point, it's got to go over to Kelra.
Yeah, eventually, but the strengths, man, and this is why the Eudora is so just a top priority pick right now. You're seeing it in action in the early game to be able to set things up in this manner and also kind of supplement a jungler like the Hirara in the hands of Kyrie is something that you can make work so well from the early game all the way to the late game. And now this turtle finally going to be started up here. It's been delayed pretty much out. They're going to go for another kill. Akashi once again shredded through. A golden hour is going to drop down. Now Kelra's a part of the fight. He wants to get the stacks he's looking for. Doom's got to defensively Zaman force out. There's another kill for Onyx. And they'll finally make their way for this turtle here. Shin's got no option but to back off. There is a push in the mid, though, at least for something for Entity 7.
How much damage did he actually get onto that mid-tier 1? No, just the plating. The plating is good enough. That's still a little bit of money. He's going to lose a decent amount in his own jungle as Kelra decides, you know what? I ain't wasting no time whatsoever. Give me the gold on that top side before the shielding time's out.
You're seeing it right there, Gideon. That's just how scary that amount of damage can be. That a flicker is burned out from Shin. Just because, again, that snapshot, that interaction with the stun, and as they go into the jungle again, E7, no room to breathe, even on their own side, as Kelra will pick up another stack.
There's just so much CC to deal with, and nobody can really stop Keyboy from what he's doing. He's able to run through every single member of the side of E7, and until we see a full commitment, there's just no point. And now they're losing mid-tier 1, which is a pivotal point in the map.
Golden hour, drop down, Kelra lining up the shots, and it's right lined up for Shin, and out in the mid lane. Daytona's welcome into the team. They landed on through. Luffy's gone, but E7 looking to fight back down. Running it for Sands. He's going to have to burn the flicker. The re-engage comes through. Snapshots are there. Oh, Bagwin, 1 HP. He'll get back to base. Could have been way worse for Entity 7 there.
Way worse, for sure.
I thought Entity 7 will win, but it seems like only
somehow
the flow.
Kelra has been more effective in these team fights in comparison to who's been struggling in, and because of that golden hour. Listen to this replay one more time, right? Golden hour catches onto 2 members. They line up the shots perfectly, but by the time Akashi actually gets into the middle of this fight, they kind of don't have enough damage, right? You can see that Doom, unfortunately, tries to get this kill onto Keyboard, but they still have plenty of battle spells. So the innate impact that we see from Onyx is just too much to handle, and Doom ain't gonna waste a free Purify just to get out of a golden hour or walk around it.
Yeah, for E7, they want to go ahead and start letting, Doom scale up. This is what we see with Harith, right? Eventually, you're able to do a whole lot with that Zaman Force. They just really haven't been able to have that upper hand fight against, this lineup that Onyx has. A big component to that, again, the golden hour. I'm surprised, Marcel, we haven't seen him pop up as much, especially back, wildcard and it's like he's still so useful with that golden hour alone. But even Chip can do something similar. A little bit of stun here on Keyboy. This fight for this turtle, though. To see if anyone's actually able to secure it. Hunnam Bush will just now pick up that Sky Piercer, though.
I'm not sure if that's even going to get any value this time around. Considering what's about to happen, Hunnam Bush gets caught out just like that. I mean, these interceptions, they can't wait a lot.
Oh, they're just going for it. Another stack for Kelra. Akashi could be next. Infernal Pursuit, but there's a double now for this Granger for Kelra. Stacks on stacks, and that's going to be a turret. And just another objective.
That's a huge miscommunication for the side of Entity 7. Onyx now going to take full advantage of this as Kelra now leading the charge by himself with the rest of his team to say, you know what? We're going to take everything. What are you going to do? Chase us? Doom trying, but he's not going to catch up to Keyboy anytime soon.
Yeah, you're not going to catch a Marcel like that, So, yeah, I don't know. That was clearly a mistake, a misstep there for E7 to be on that side, to lose their jungler, but the punishment also is just more turrets, more space. Even in that replay, it just happens so quickly, and then you get collapsed on. And if you line yourselves up like this for E7, you know, you're trying to keep things from getting too worse. It's just, Onyx does such a great job at giving those stacks over to Kelra too. They know that that's a big part of these team fights. Now, I mean, look at the health bars. They're just dropping as they try to get to the base. They try to get away, but Bagman's down, and now Akashi gets blown up as well from the shots from Kelra.
He didn't want to use his flicker either. Again, I feel like E7, they understand that their battle spells are like so key to their composition, but at the same time, they're not using it to save themselves. Now we have a 13-3 lead, a 5.7k lead at 8 minutes into the game, which is not, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty devastating on top of the fact that Kelra is almost max stacks at this stage of the game on his Sky Piercer.
Yeah. Keyboy and Sans both just doing an amazing job throughout this game too to set things up. Look at the difference here now in the mid lane. You're actually able to get Luffy, Keyboy, and Sans. Do they want to fight this? I know they got Kelra there, but still, you don't want to get overzealous and get punished here. You got a 6,000 gold lead if you're Onyx. You want to keep that together for this Lord here in about third.
First items priority. I like how Loopy is like, no, I'm not going to think about sustain whatsoever. All I'm thinking about is maintaining my stacks, get me a Guardian helmet, and I'll make something happen. He is a thick boy for a good reason, but also such a huge deterrent for E7. Like, what are they going to do as soon as he starts charging up the Daytona's welcome, right? On the opposite side, I do want to see whether or not E7 specifically needs to get a backline attack onto Kelra.
Yeah, I feel like he's been trying, you know, like he's been trying to find that positioning, but there just hasn't been that opening that they're looking for. And now at this point, it looks like E7's just going to have to give this Lord over to Onyx. But the more things, Akashi's going to give the information. There's quite a few here. They're trying to push up top too, but Lord already secured by Kyrie.
Easy game for
I mean, this is just not where you want to be, and now Daytona's welcome to keep Akashi in place. Line it up again for Kelra to get a double again. It's looking really dire here in game one.
I think this game is almost over. Onyx is in a point where their snowball is a little too big. And they're purposely delaying high down, which he will not be able to get with the rest of his team.
Like
now his death timer is staggered.
Player would have done more good job.
Already base turret's going to be worked on. Doom trying to drop it down with his Almond Force, but still just delaying possibly the inevitable here. Almost a 9,000 gold lead as Lord is going to approach this mid turret. The defense shield's still going to pop, but the Lord is still up, and now the pressure's here. 15 still, 4 high on push to be up. They're going to drop it down once again. Luffy, Daytona's welcome. Throw him into the wall. Kyrie, meanwhile, on the other side's working. Burns the flicker around Akashi. No chance. And now looking to take out Doom as well. He's trying to avoid the shots from Kelra, but he can't avoid Kyrie. And they're looking for finally, Kelra goes down, but Kyrie's here as well. It's a different KK connection. It's a back for Kyrie. And that's all Onyx needed in this game one under 12 minutes. They'll cap out game one against Entity 7.
21-6 the final score. And they're going to farm one before they close out the very first match. Egos were tested this time around. Entity 7 said, you know what, I'm comfortable with this style of composition. But it doesn't matter how comfortable you are. If you're walking into counter picks, there are certain expectations.
They took on the entire team by themselves.
Put the physical damage into XP. That's why they go for the direct.
I think that's drafting.
Now, ban out that Brody might be the best call for Entity 7. And if it's not the Brody, at this point it's a plug and play. Honestly, I think we've said that a lot for Onyx, especially MPLID. A lot of times, a lot of picks, you could just plug and play anything.
And you know Sans is very good in Uranus.
With the Cho and the Hirara, with the Uranus as well, all of them can chase the Harley. I don't really even think that the Harley can make it to the backline of Onyx, so I wouldn't even be too surprised if Onyx go for even like something as crazy as a Farsa even up against these assassins, because again, Juicin ban, E-ban, they've taken away a lot of the safer choices in mid. The next best thing would probably be a layer if you're thinking safety. Yeah, I think Onyx aren't thinking about safe. I think they're thinking about dominating. Yeah, if you want domination, of course, you still have the option of Sans to suddenly show up with the Kata, then petrify up, hardcore pick-off combo with that Cho, and instantly if you delete the or you delete someone.
Okay, Lilia pick, let's go.
Right now, it's not Doom. That's what I could say.
Oh, no. Oh, Kashi. Keyboy under the turret. There's the kick right in between both. They don't care. They'll get a kill. There's the stunt, Ludwig. Kyrie with retribution. Going to chase down Shin. Shin able to get away, though. But that's just a preview of how much Onyx can take from Entity 7 as the turret is pushed down. The bottom lane, tier 2 Doom. Nowhere to go. Popping the Purify. has to
Purify
stay
by Doom.
alive at all costs, but Kyrie's here. All the iframes to work with, and a torn apart memory from Kelra will cap out another kill.
Make it stop. This is a public execution here from Onyx. They are not letting up, and they want to make sure that it is known you can't play anything less than perfect.
Couple shots here.
Flicker,
All right,
spammed
flicker
by
burn at least for
Sans.
Sans. But still, so much work for Entity 7 to deal with that they just have to watch the tier 2 turret go down nearly here in that bottom lane. It's just Onyx doesn't have anything else to take, so they'll just keep pressing on these turrets.
You know, I've watched a lot of games in my career, but never one where I've been so confident that this game's kind of over already.
Yeah.
It's an 8.4K lead 6 minutes into the game, and these positions are literally impossible to get out of unless Onyx all decide to like run at Fountain or something like that. But it's very unlikely. Once you're at a stage where you're already an item and in a component ahead of your opponent, it becomes very difficult to actually claw your way back out of this, especially since a lot of the combinations are very single target rather than hitting multiple people. Yeah. And that's the big difference between E7 and Team Liquid's composition. Even though Team Liquid was losing massively at that point in time, the comeback ability comes down to the 5 wombo combo, which they don't have.
Yeah, and what you're seeing here too, you know, there's a phrase over in the Philippines that's used quite a bit. It's called Hunger Games. You hear the professional players say it, where they take everything from the jungle pretty much. Akashi, they'll take him as well. They're going to be looking for Doom next. Doom will be able to get away with the BMI, but now Vagwin trying to run himself away, but it's just way too much as another goes down for E7, and Onyx will shortly be knocking on these holy defense shields already this early on.
Yeah, look, they just sit in base. Yep, he's already holding on to 2 waves, because what are they gonna do? Like, no DHS? All right, that's fine. Max stacks on Uranus. He's gonna regenerate harder than everybody put together.
Yeah, this is just, at that point, Lutfi just pressing on the wounds for this one.
He's gonna walk into target just to restart the stacks. Yep,
restart the stacks. Another wave coming through mid. Tier 1 gone, tier 2 next. They still hold on to the shields, but Entity 7, again, look at this, the glooms. A couple glooms bringing Doom down to a third of his health.
Dude, look, I hate, especially when you're playing Uranus.
Okay, they are trying to not let the shield break.
He just becomes like the solar system's behind here. Just
Lutfi doing his stuff, bro.
Man, look at him. What are you gonna do? Huh? He still has his ult. And then
he didn't even move. He didn't even use the skill.
This is only possible when you're 13,000 gold ahead as a team. Vagwin desperately jumping in with the Guardian, but he's just going to go to his death. Luffy still in the base. He hasn't moved at all. A flicker for
I am saying, bro, it's
trying
like
to get the kill. Another defense
Swords
shield
team would have done better than Entity 7.
Not
like,
moving from this. He's his own just bulwark for this team. He does burn the flicker. There you go. Finally, Entity 7.
The Entity 7 is not doing it.
I'm sure hoping that Onyx isn't trying to find the numbers here, because it's looking very, very good so far.
Gatot Kacha. Good pick Gatot Kacha against Lilia.
Wants to make sure that he has true damage on top of everything else, but I think right now he kind of needs to sustain. Not to mention that Kelra has been playing literally pixel perfect as well, making sure that he isn't missing a beat. Catching up and cleaning out the majority of these kills, but now that we're coming into the 9th minute of the game, Onyx, this is it, right? No holy shielding on every single side of Entity 7's base. They're going to be able to get this.
11-12k gold.
Just in case. I don't want to be wrong about
nothing
this,
is
but I think that Doom should be like an item and a half. Yeah. Yeah.
Conceal play, conceal.
Oh, it hurts.
No,
it's gonna hurt more.
Sans is gonna use the ultimate.
Take some damage. He's got the black shoes. He's gonna be fine. A little jump
is
there
running
on
away.
the fence. They're gonna get run down in their jungle. So
the team back down
for now, they'll just
easy
take
lot
off,
for
make their way back to it. But what do they get out of that? Again, some of these ultimates used up.
Okay, they are trying to
E7
counter.
still wants to show up
the
for
Hyper
this.
himself is in
Potentially, they might
violet
just get
box.
punished here, though, if they do.
Everything that could have gone wrong in the early game has gone wrong for Entity 7, and I think that as much as it feels soul-crushing for Hydon Bush, it's one of those games that you wish, like, all right, it's a GG, go next. I understand that we're going to have to play through the lower side, but this is really, really rough. And I think the only few mistakes that Onyx can make,
on the
it's difficult for Kyrie, because at this stage, he's got enough cooldowns to get his iframes back up before the killing blow actually comes through. I think it's got to be down to like just Stans and Kelra who need to give away these kills, particularly Kelra.
And I don't know if that's going to happen, man.
He usually doesn't do that.
It's usually not the case, but even if it was the case,
Lupe
Entity 7
is
just
holding
doesn't
on
have
the
the
lane.
firepower. I feel like
Top
they almost
lane.
have to expend too much
Irara is
for them
clearing
to
and
cap
bottom.
out a kill on
Good
an
lane matching.
overstep that most likely won't happen from Calra. Now
I
for
think
Onyx, with this Lord
Onyx
marching towards the
Entity
base,
should
the
be able to
14,000
defend.
gold too is even bigger than the Lord right now. Ludwig up again, leading the charge. There you go again.
Okay, all
Just
the turrets
shit
gone.
deleted off the
Only
map
top
here.
turret is
2
saved.
base turrets down. Onyx looking to cap it out here under the 12-minute mark once
That
again.
would catch a
One
misses
more
the
desperate attempt here from E7, but they'll just lock it down
gone.
and come in
Very
clean
good, very
as
good.
Onyx
Irara
comes
is
in to clean
dancing
up
on the
the series in
battlefield
a
here.
sweep against Entity 7.
An absolute massacre
Absolute
of murder
right.
here up in the group stages. Onyx, they're not
Great
holding
game,
back
great
the
game.
punches anymore. They've taken
So
advantage
if
of
I see
every little
the chart now,
Something to look forward to. Very much looking forward to that game between yourselves and Pro Esports. Thank you very much, Blink.
To the eliminate.
so as of now, the games really went good, but Malaysian teams faced the downfall. So I think the elimination matches SRG will be the winner, and Team Liquid of course will swipe the Entity 7 team. So it's gonna be SRG moving on to the next and TL moving to the next. Then qualification match, YG will be putting on a good competition for Pro Esports. I think Pro Esports are on a flow now, so they have a higher chance of winning. Then we come to Onyx vs Aurora, typical Indonesian vs Filipino. Not Filipino, right? They are from what's that? The flag. Let me search up. Aurora. Yeah, they are the Turkey representatives. They are really doing good. They have even bet the Team Liquid this day. So they are gonna put a good fight. Still I believe Onyx will win the match. So it might be Pro and Onyx qualifying to the knockout stage first. Then it will be YG versus Team Liquid and Onyx Aurora versus SRG. That we can say for sure. Let's see. So it's gonna be
Match,
a match.
which will be Entity 7's opponent now, and GK Esports, who we just
It's
watched,
gonna
will face
be
off
going
against the
good this
Selangor
week.
Reg matches, advances to the sports.
I'm happy for them.
Group A is
These are teams that
absolutely
probably
cooked.
no one expected
Group
to even
A,
make it to the knockouts, and
it's
now they're
nothing
going to
is
be
going
fighting
on.
for
So
one of the first knockout spots in Group B.
Falcons will be
Happy
advancing
for Myanmar
easily.
and Cambodia, of course, with the shocking
But
results
as
that we
far
got.
as
But
the
I think
Group B is
that
concerned,
series
it's gonna
is
be
probably going to be one of the most banger that we're going to be getting in the second round in the groups.
I think that's a guarantee, right? It
Okay,
has to
then.
be a banger. It's just, yes, it's sweet, but it's bittersweet, right? Because in a way, you get to see Young Galacticos and Pro. They go up against each other for the first time in
Okay, then
Cambodia
let's
and
go for
Myanmar for the
ranked
first time
match
in
now.
a long time. But
Bye,
then you
bye,
look
bye.
at that better side of things, and it's like, dang.